Ladies and gentlemen, this is it. Stand in line for your fix. A triple shot of Marcus in the mix, serving you yet another round of fish and grits. December 12th, 2017. How's it going for you fellas?
Ooh, it's a lot of shit going on out here in the world. I'm trying to stay clean.
Man, I,
Man,
man, Wilson, don't act like you struggling. This the only sports fan I know that got three MVPs coming to his teams in 1 week.
and it's
Stanton,
all well and good.
Rogers, and in the cloud. So Wilson on cloud nine.
Now
He living.
on the sports tip, yes, I'm on a cloud nine. On the rest of pop culture, it's kind of dicey right now
It's
because,
very
like my
dicey
man
right
Griff
now.
said, there's some shit going on, for lack of a better term, in the world today. It's a lot of stuff, but we're gonna dive into it. But yeah, other than that, man, I can't complain. I got my boy Leonard coming back on the pitch count. They're gonna work him in slow, and Stanton.
Yeah, you got it. You got it going
He
on
got it,
this
man.
week.
He
I
got it.
lost Winston. I don't know what I'm supposed to be looking forward to.
My man Griff's just confused.
I'm
I was
so
like, what?
sorry.
What am I do now? What do I do now?
I feel you 100%, man. But let's jump into a serious topic that we had discussed earlier, man. Why does Black Hollywood continue to seek acknowledgement and acceptance? Like, can anyone explain that to me? We had Jada come out, made some strong comments, which made a lot of sense, saying that Hollywood has systems in place that must learn to expand its concepts of race, gender equality, and inclusion in regard to perceptions of art across the board.
I
They
agree
even
with.
said they even said they went as far as I didn't know this myself. I didn't know that Get Out was deemed as a comedy. I did not know that.
Well, in it, I mean, it was to be. I can see how it can be misconstrued or put under the comedy phase. But I'm just like, for her getting mad and trying to, I guess, attack the Golden Globes for not nominating Girls Trip was just like, okay, man, it was okay. It was an okay movie. Like, I'm not gonna. Oh, survive over there, Wilson.
I'm okay. I'm just
Oh
experiencing
man.
my death right now.
That's
I've
the
been
worst. That's
sick
the
all
worst
week.
thing
My
that happened
bad.
to him all week. So he good. He fine.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He caught a cold. He caught a cold. But
He
no,
low.
like I was saying, but with her, she's trying to justify or try to break down on why Girls Trip should have been nominated. I mean, me personally, from the box office and whatnot, it was a successful movie. I can understand how it can be in consideration, but I don't come with something stronger. But in her blabbing, I mean, her, like I guess her Twitter rant she went on, she did say some good stuff about that, but it's the same thing that she brought up. I want to say a couple of years ago with the Oscars and Oscar so
And it's
white and stuff like
always
that.
on Twitter. Like I'm tired of that, Griff.
But I
I'm
just
tired
like
of that.
what I personally just get I don't understand personally is why do we feel the need to get these we have to get these awards, these accolades because 9 times out of 10 the way the reality and the entertainment world is working right now, you don't have to win any of these awards to get a lot of these roles that's being dished out because it's a lot of actors and a lot of actresses getting paid that haven't won any type of award. So I don't understand why we deem it as being important, but I understand, self um I guess achievement awards that you would like to get as an actor and actress, but I mean it is what it is, honestly.
I mean,
This
see,
is
like,
Jada ranting again.
yeah, they just all searching for recognition. It's like you don't have to seek recognition
Re-
from an award. I mean,
re-
if your work was good, your work was good. Sure, you
remember this
realize
one
that.
thing. Remember this one thing. Will does have a movie coming out on Netflix, so let me see if anything's gonna be flipped in this little Twitter rant she did.
Oh, that's you think they think it's a little self promoting she trying to
Yeah,
do for the
get a little spotlight on the family.
for the
Ain't nothing
Smith
going
family.
on.
You know what I'm saying? Start little allegations and shit. Now everybody gonna be all on Netflix trying to get their shows popping.
Exactly, exactly. Come check. Hey, well, while you're not paying attention to Jada Smith, we have Will Smith's new movie coming out on Netflix. Flip it
Y'all,
on them boy.
y'all are
I'm
so
sorry.
wrong.
I am wrong.
Well,
Y'all,
Wilson, are you at least a little like just upset about the platform that she used? I mean, this is some important stuff she's talking about, but I just don't feel that was the correct platform she used to get that message out there.
well, the thing for me is this, and first and foremost, to just address the overall issue in and of itself. The whole awards thing is a double-edged sword for the thespians, the actors and actresses that do their work and apply their craft to the best of their ability. You also have to understand that it's equivalent in sports terms of being able to negotiate a better contract because on your resume you have it that you made it all pro or you made it to the Pro Bowl. That's the equivalent of what these accolades and what these award shows and stuff like that mean to actors and actresses. You go through and let's take, for instance, Jamie Foxx has done plenty of good movies and stuff like that, but he didn't get taken seriously in Hollywood until he popped an Oscar for Ray. Halle Berry. Yeah.
Hey, can I ask you something right quick, Marcus? Yeah. I knew that was working back in 04, 04, 05, but it seemed like right now, it seemed like anybody can get a role. It's just like, just the way the climate working right now. It's just
so many more movies.
Like the more bullshit ass movies are the more popular movies that a lot of these people.
Let's not take the time. Let's not take the time and not acknowledge and understand the fact that we all have common sense enough to know that a lot of these award shows conceptually outdated, because if we're keeping everything 100 and we keep spade a spade, well, hell, the last 10 years it would have been a sci-fi or a comic book movie that would have won Oscars for Best Picture every year, because those are the ones that are always the most popular. Those are the ones that people see the most. Those are the ones that make the most money. But that's not what they look at as far as the criteria with the people that are actually voting on these awards and stuff like that. That being said, the Twitter part, I don't necessarily have a problem with, because as we kind of discussed before behind the scenes, yeah, there's bigger stages that she could have probably brought that to. There's better platforms that she could have probably brought that to. But with that also comes censorship and editing. You can't go through and cut a soundbite that somebody posts up on a tweet. We've learned that from our president. You get it raw, you get it in the now, you get it in the moment.
Exactly.
But that's that double-edged sword to it, is that I think that she went to Twitter to go through and have that rant because of the fact that it was her being able to speak, to be able to emote the way that she wanted to and say what she wanted to say in the exact context in which she wanted it to be, without any dilution, without any editing, without anybody misconstruing or misquoting. So from that standpoint, I understand why she chose to go to that medium. And I understand that that's one of those big things that actually makes that medium, is because of the fact that you get everything raw, uncut, no filter, in the moment, as it happens, as you feel it. So from that standpoint, I understand where she's coming from. Could she done it in a better light? Could she have picked a better platform? Sure. But it would have left it open to more misinterpretation, in my opinion, if she would have gone anywhere else where she would have taken time or called a press conference or went viral so somebody could chop it and clip it and edit it. You understand what I'm saying? Those kinds of things. So I feel her from where she's coming from. I'm not a huge Twitter fan, but in certain instances, I completely understand why it's a necessary
tool.
But as far as the whole award system goes and stuff like that, as far as it pertains to minorities, people of color, et cetera, well, I mean, this is something that's gone on throughout history. I mean, you go through and we've wanted so much for the inclusion and the acceptance and the acknowledgement, and it's great, you know, to a certain circle, but there's a large contingent of people that don't even know anything about Golden Globes or Oscars, nor do they care.
Exactly.
That's 100% fact.
Actor for the last decade was Will Smith, and he got an Oscar once maybe for Ali.
Never.
Did he get it?
Nope. Didn't even get it. Didn't even get nominated.
So he's over, right?
Yep.
Okay, so next man up, the highest paid actor would be Denzel. Previous to him, if I'm not mistaken,
yes,
how many Oscars has he popped off?
2.
Out of how many iconic movies that you've seen Denzel in?
Exactly. That's what's crazy.
So
and on top of that,
it's not that big of an issue when it comes to the casual person. Now, if you're in the film industry, if you're somebody that gets into it from that art standpoint, okay, well then it has a little bit more significance to you when you think about it. For me, as a young man, I stopped paying attention to the Oscars and to award shows and stuff like that when one of the greatest movies that I've ever seen in my entire life didn't get a single award, and that was The Color Purple.
Steven Spielberg movie.
A single award, and there's nobody that can come back and tell me that there wasn't
they didn't deserve
it. Performances in that movie. There wasn't a bad actor in that entire movie, and they didn't get anything.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, one of the most nominated or one of the most nominated actors and one of the most glorified actors in terms of the Academy, Golden Globes is Daniel Day-Lewis, and how many people know about Daniel Day-Lewis, the average person? Not too many people. So
Exactly.
I can understand, but on the
let's reverse it.
Oh,
let's reverse it.
Flip it down.
On the other standpoint of it, and much to your point, DeMarcus, you know, why do people even feel the need to want to be recognized and this, that, and the other? And I lean towards that regard because for me, and if you look at the handwriting on the wall and stuff like that, you go through and you say, okay, when's the first time a black woman won an Oscar award? Halle Berry, right? Monsters Ball.
Horrible movie, honestly.
For laying down and taking a pipe from a white dude, right?
Yeah, and that's not even one of her better movies. That's what's even sad about that.
We'll even go further than that. Denzel, when he popped his Oscar, it was what? Training Day, right? Not Malcolm X, not anything positive, but being a corrupt cop, right?
Yep.
Go even one further than that. Oscar for Best Song. Everybody got lit for it, and God bless them. I love them to death. I have no issue with them whatsoever. But it's hard out here for a pimp. 3 6 Mafia, right?
Hey, that's my shit.
The thing about that is this: for all of the things that you've seen from African American actors, actresses, musicians, composers, those 3 instances are the only times that they felt that black people were worthy of getting an Oscar award for playing a strung out chick that just gave up the ass to some random white dude, for a corrupt cop, a trap song basically before we called it trap music.
Hard idea for a pimp.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, we have all those things and stuff like that, and it is what it is. I take nothing away from those accomplishments because it's something that's still indulged in the creative process. It was still part of the art, so it still has merit. But you cannot convince me that all of the things that I've seen previous to that were not worthy of the same amount of attention or the same amount of acknowledgement as those 3 instances. So I have a problem with the motion picture industry when it comes to things like that. But don't do what it takes to go through and readily enforce or readily support the things that we want to see out there. That's why you don't have any motion picture studios. If we have such an issue with the things that we're being portrayed, why wouldn't we open up our own movie company and put out our own movies? Oh wait, we have people that were trying to do that with the Matty Riches and the Spike Lees and the Robert Townsends and stuff like that. And because it's in that nature and they can always use that against us, in that bottom line, vividly sitting in an empty theater with my mother and my father and my sister when we went to see the opening night of the 5 Heartbeats in the movies. You know anybody that's ever said that they've seen the 5 Heartbeats in a movie theater?
Nah, you're the first, bro.
But my also,
exactly my point. But that go ahead, Grip. But that's those things that I battle with because it's one we really shouldn't have to battle for acknowledgement or anything like that. It's not like people don't think that colored folks can't act or, you know, perform or give great performances and stuff like that. But seeking that recognition to me is more about them increasing their profile and marketability as far as increasing their price point than anything else. And Oscar is not going to tell me that you're a great actor or actress. Just for me, period.
The reason why I say that's like how you gave your explanation that was wonderfully given. I personally say that it got better just around when Jamie Foxx took off for Ray, because since then you had Don Cheadle got nominated, Terrence Howard, Forrest Whitaker, Will.
Definitely show more love.
Chiwetel Ejiofor. People got to start getting more nominated, but it's just like it's not going to give us more roles because a lot of those actors were well established. Same with the females that get nominated.
They was like because 5-10 years in already.
The only black person or the only female that had became that was like kind of a newbie that got nominated was Lupita Nyong'o, and you know she's quietly still been working, but other than that, it was a lot of them that kind of fell to the wayside. Like Monique won something and she kind of fell to the wayside. A lot of these actors that these actresses that do get these awards, so it's like kind of like a double-edged sword, like you said. It is what it is. I personally think that it's a lot of black talent out there in the world right now, and just the way the climate is.
We're going to be next year. And watch and see how pissed you're going to be next year when nobody from Black Panther gets nominated for anything.
But this is the thing about it. Even if they don't, even if Black Panther don't get nominated, I understand how they work with, for the Oscars and stuff like that. Yeah. And but the thing is, I personally don't think it's that much of a serious note like that anymore, for the simple fact is a lot of people in the entertainment world, it's shifting away from movies to TV. And that's where a lot of people are making their killing. So nobody's really checking for, oh, I got this movie award, because it's like I can get more money on the spread out over time with these television shows. So I'm just like, hey, Jada, it is what it is. Girl Trip was a cool movie, but that's not the movie that I think you should be banging on people's doors saying, hey, this should have been nominated. But it is what it is. And
I understand that too, and I understand her standpoint, but we have our viewpoint of it as well. And to me, I don't think that getting a big fuss out of Girls Trip is really valid either, because I mean, I understand where her heart is at and I understand where she's coming from as somebody that practices her craft. But yeah, I mean, Girls Trip isn't like The Hangover or anything that was earth-shattering or earth-breaking. It was a great movie. It was funny as hell and I enjoyed it, but it wasn't anything that I was like, man, they should win a ton of awards for this movie. It just was what it was. It was a great movie. It's going to make a ton of money, especially when it hits Blu-ray and DVD and everything else. I mean, it's going to be a great seller and stuff, but I understand where she's coming from, because as an actress that wants to get that respect and that same acknowledgement, and I'm sure that you're probably tired of seeing Meryl Streep show up in a 60-second commercial and get nominated for an Oscar, but the other folks busting their ass don't. You know what I'm saying? That kind of mentality that revolves around. But at the end of the day, I think that it's more of a thing that, like you said, going to other forms of, multimedia streaming, and we talked about this before, and I tell anybody that would listen, services like Hulu, services like Netflix are going to gut and fillet the motion picture industry, because you're going to go to a point where you'll have the next blockbuster film before it comes out in movie theaters, just to spite folks. You have all-star lineups and all-star casts that are signing up for streaming shows and serials before they'll sign up for a big budget movie production, because like you said, Griff, it's more exposure, it's more money. Netflix is canceling shows left and right because they're going through and having episodes in excess of $4 and $5 million per episode to even produce. So those paychecks are large.
Jada got way too much of our time. She got way too much of our time.
But it's a relevant issue. It's not just Jada, it's the whole thing in general, but it was sparked by Jada. But it's a relevant topic. I mean, it's about the culture on this podcast. So that's
December 22nd on Netflix. Check out Will Smith's new movie. Bright. Keep it rolling.
There it is, man. Let's talk about these NFL Network allegations, man. It's a who's who.
Man, grabbing pussy, texting inappropriate stuff.
Wait, time out.
What?
Quick disclaimer on behalf of the Fishing Grits for the Culture podcast, Facebook page, et cetera. We fully understand and realize that everything that we are discussing is allegations and not indictments. None of this stuff has yet to be proven, so we are just discussing the possibility of the extent of said allegations and where they go from here. All right, fellas, let's go.
Man, these niggas dirty as hell. And you know what? I'm just talking to the everyday person. And
I'm gonna tell you right now. I know Ike did it.
Hold on, man. Let's talk about this right quick.
Let's talk about
like that. Hey, but let's talk about this right quick.
Family barbecue. Right now. You might not have did it,
bro.
Nigga named Ike did it.
Why? I'm having these general conversations with people I work with, and I'm just like, how do you have these inappropriate conversations in text message and gropings and meetings with fucking people you work with like it's cool? Hell no, I don't want to be fucking around with nobody I work with trying to fucking grope them. And it's like, you at this position of power, why are you fucking up? It'd be like, damn, is niggas really that fucking dirty? Are we that bad?
Talking about jobs that people look at as like, I want to be there, and this is what these people are doing. They're ruining their career with these type of allegations. Like, come on, McNabb,
bro.
What is McNabb doing, bro?
This makes a lot, and I'm not trying to say this is the norm or something like this, but these allegations make a lot of men and make a lot of us look really, really fucking bad. And I hope this is a reality check for a lot of fellas out there. Don't be thirsty. Don't pump. Don't force your way on women. Don't talk to them inappropriately. You can just be casual and yourself, and you'll end up getting one of these beautiful women out here. You don't got to be a fucking nasty ass nigga. Like, it's terrible. It's horrible to listen to this and to read this, and you just be like, man, these are people I looked up to, and they really be talking reckless like this behind the scene. Marshall Faulk. Wow, I thought he was married.
He is married,
bro. You talking
what does
about,
that mean? What does that mean
you
nowadays?
talking about hotel meetings and you just like whipping your junk out? Like, come on, bro. Come on, man.
I mean, Ike sending those videos, Warren Sapp up
In the
there.
shower, dog. I'm like, come on, bro. Come on, man. It's like these stories.
McNabb.
It was crazy about it is I know these are allegations, but these men come out, these comedians and a lot of these people that have got busted come out and say, you know what? I did say that. Like they don't be denying this shit. That's what's crazy.
Yeah,
That's
man,
crazy.
it's super crazy. Like I'm more disappointed in a lot of these guys because, like I said, these are positions of power in the sports world that people like us would enjoy just doing on a regular basis. Just being around people, just talking the talk at the water cooler. And when you see them off screen, this is what they're doing. They're going around having a little coffee. Oh, it looked like you were squirting. What, bro?
When I read that, man,
Explicit?
did you really text that? Did you really have traceable evidence that you text that to a woman? Like, come on, man, that was crazy. Donovan McNabb, you out of line. You out of line.
And like,
Here's the thing for me,
I'm
and
not trying to laugh, but it's horrible.
I won't really get into the specifics, but more just the concept because again, these are allegations and nothing has been quote unquote proven as of yet. But for me, it's on two folds. One, sometimes in the heat of the moment, we forget at the end of the day that regardless of their title, rank, previous work history, whatever would have you, that these folks are still human beings at the end of the day, and they're subject to have faults. Some really, really bad faults that we may not know about that have been clouded over by all the glory and positive media that they've gotten for all the things that they've done in their said trade on the field and scoring touchdowns and winning games and all that good stuff. But none of that stuff stops people from being people at the end of the day. The disturbing part of it for me is the fact that it plays to some classic narratives and stereotypes as far as people that have a name or people that have some celebrity or people that have some that feel that at the end of the day that they're immune to having a moral compass or following certain rules and guidelines or not knowing how to treat another person. And that is what's disturbing to me because if any of this is true, to sit and feel that you are comfortable enough in an open work environment to be that forward, that pressing, that vulgar is supremely disturbing to me. I can understand if you're away from the building, you're out and about, y'all are calling, texting, whatever, what have you. But if this is occurring in the workplace, that is beyond reprehensible.
They don't write your checks for you to do shit like that.
That's savage.
Coming to the point that looking at it long term with all of the stuff that's going on and across all forms and in all walks of life, because we've had folks that have gotten allegations and stuff like that from the White House all the way on down. It's literally moving to where I can literally see steps being taken on a corporate side to cover themselves as public entities. You're literally going to see businesses as a whole start to embrace the practice of basically sterilizing their workplaces. You guys are going to keep it to handshakes and greetings and salutations and keep it moving. Water cooler talk, all that chitty chatty.
Out of here.
They ruined it.
Say hello. How are you doing? How was your day? Okay, well, I'll talk to you later and keep it moving.
Boy,
the number one rule in the corporate world is CYA, cover your ass. And anything outside of that, you're going to put yourself in jeopardy. And you're going to get into some instances where you might be hanging out and talking with all your boys. Y'all are talking about, hanging out, this, that, and the other. But if you're doing it within earshot of the wrong person, that's textbook sexual harassment one-on-one cases. You cannot make someone uncomfortable, quote unquote, in their workplace, whether you're talking or interacting with them directly or not. So you have to edit yourself, even though you might be just chilling with your boys and you don't think nobody else can hear. Or if one of your boys, more importantly, is cool with this chick and they having a little banter and you decide to throw your own grenade in, well, she not checking for you like that. So you just got an allegation.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. You're going to see more and more of these cases come up. You're going to see more and more of these cases get blown up.
At this point, it's who's next.
But in addition to that, you're going to have the classic divisiveness, because there's going to be a lot of people that are deservedly accused and investigated for this.
Oh, it's
And
gonna
then
be
you're gonna
some
have
people
chicks
that
that's
go
gonna
down.
try to come up,
Oh,
and they're gonna
yeah.
try to make folks scapegoats, and that's gonna create the division, and then it's gonna be witch hunts here, and oh well, I don't believe this and I don't believe that. Oh, she's just trying to get a quick buck, or he's just lying, and this, that, and the other, and it's gonna become a big old shitstorm before they get some kind of actual streamline into this process.
It's about to be real strange watching NFL Network with no Heath
Can't look-
Evans.
Man, that's
Can't
gonna be
look at
real
it.
Marshall
strong
Faulk.
watching TV, period, with half the
ED.
stuff that's going on.
Bro, I was shocked at ED, man. ED, man. I thought he was just a cool ass.
Why you shocked at ED?
Huh?
Why you shocked with ED? He looked like Darren Sharper cousin.
No, but he was a likable
Don't do
personality,
everything
man.
like that. Come
He was
on.
a likable personality, and I just would never
I'm
expect
just
him to play
playing.
ED.
They're all likable personalities, but that's my thing.
Oh, I could do without all. I
Sometimes
could.
we forget at the
Heath
end of the
Evans,
day
I-
that they have some
Oh,
of
Heath
those
can go.
qualities.
He talk-
But some
talk
of them
about
I can
it
look at.
45
And be like,
miles every-
you was
every-
questionable. Heath Evans looked questionable. Marshall Faulk, questionable. Eric Davis didn't get that off, man.
Hey, not so much on Marshall, sir.
Hey, Marshall
I'm
gave that off,
trying
man.
to
He
cope.
looked like a strange
Still trying
one.
to cope.
Hey, man, he looking, man. I seen how his eyes be glazing at
Glazed,
man.
You know what? You know what right now?
Cynthia.
That's why I say if it was Cynthia, I kind of would have understood a little bit more. But this lady,
No. See, and that's the funny part about sexual harassment when it comes to these cases and stuff like that. 8 out of 10 times, it's somebody that you would never think would be somebody to be hit on, or oh, they don't look that good, or they're not that attractive. Why would you even be talking to them? And that's when it becomes a power thing. I can do it because I can. You should be flattered at the fact that I'm even flirting with you or acknowledging you.
Exactly. That's how they
That's
trap
what it is. That's the exact type of person that I would expect to be sexually harassed. Because when it push comes to shove, the first thing that one of them dudes would say is, "Come on, man, look it up, man. You think I need to harass somebody
You
like
really
this?
think I'm gonna come after you? Come on, dog.
Exactly. And that's why, to me, that makes it even more believable.
Hey, man, we'll see. We'll see how this thing plays out. Hope.
Boy, I'm telling you, when it's
I hope that the
I don't
truth
know
comes
who
out, and I
plays
hope that
this
things get
talent.
handled
Like, that's-
properly.
hey,
Period.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
All-star talent that they had, man.
Hey, and let me tell you
Hey,
right
if
now.
they did it, I don't care how talented they are. They need to get the wood put to them. But I hope that the truth comes out, and I hope that things get handled in an appropriate manner.
I'm going to be.
Nate needs to leave.
No, Nate is good, man. Don't you talk about Nate like that.
No, Nate needs to go somewhere else. It's a cloud.
Oh
over
no!
there.
Don't play yourself out like you got a guilty conscience and leave too early. No, you stand your ground. You stay exactly where you
Hey,
at.
Nate is that dude. He carrying that network, man.
Yeah, you let Nate be great. He's greater than he ever was.
Swag is the coolest thing that they could have ever came up with.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and by the way, man, I know it hit the music industry, but when they drop some names on some of these artists and these powerhouses, man, it's gonna hurt me, man. I'm gonna be
sitting in
worse
across
I'm
the board.
sitting in my corner for a little while, man. I'm telling you, man.
It's gonna be some powerful people.
I read Corinne Steffens' that Superheads book back in college, and she exposed a lot of people. And so if that was with her, I'm sure somebody gonna come out and say something else, and I'm just gonna be like,
well, the book almost makes it null and void for her to make any accusations at this point.
I'm not talking about her. I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about from what you read in the book. If you what you read in the book, you know they did this with her, and there's no telling who else they did this with. And a lot of people weren't like her to write a book and was cool with it. And a lot of these people weren't cool with it, and she was cool with it. But it's like, it's gonna shake, man.
Oh yeah, you get them video vixens from back in the day and stuff like that. And if they want to
tell you right now,
TNT,
TNT, man, I'm TNT. That's all I got to say.
No doubt, man. You know, over the weekend, Keaton Jones took the world by storm with his video about bullying. You at that stage?
Tell me about this. I don't even know what.
You not gonna let the setup happen? Like you that pissed off about the situation? All right,
yeah, I'm that pissed off about the situation.
Oh, tell me what happened, because it's gonna be new to me, so it's gonna be a fresh reaction.
I'll let my man Wilson break it down to you.
Break it down, Wilson.
Well, I mean, basic framework. This kid goes viral because they put out a film of him crying in his car, talking to his mom about being bullied at school and stuff like that, pulling at the heartstrings, yada yada yada, to the point where they set up this GoFundMe account. Red flag number 1.
Really? Why would I fund you because you getting bullied? Huh? What?
Hey, man. I'm sorry, you have common sense. I'm trying to talk to the masses right now.
Okay.
It's all good. It's all good. So you go through, you set up these GoFundMe accounts and stuff like that, and you generate almost 60 grand for this kid from being bullied and all this other good stuff.
Shit, for getting bullied.
Now we go through, and they do a little bit of digging into Keaton's mom, who is a Trump supporter, seems to be blatant racist and stuff like that. And now half the folks that's contributing to this little kid's GoFundMe account is black rappers and black folks and stuff like that. I want to say that they cut it off at the pass before she could cash out, right, Griff?
Yeah,
Yes, sir, they did. They cut that off.
Yeah, because she almost walked out with that 60 grand. So, you know, it goes into that whole thing of, like, my man DJ Mr. Rogers, shouts out, tweeted, was the GoFundMe account to pay the bullies off to not bully a kid no more? Or it was pay off a hit on the bullies? I mean, what was the point of the GoFundMe account? I mean, that's a huge red flag right there.
That 60K was to create a new life where no bully was gonna find your ass. So that's what that was gonna do.
No, that was to get you a quick hustle and have your kids shed some tears online so you can come up on some money.
So you don't think
that's the case? Now, don't get me wrong. I don't condone bullying, and I'm not.
But the story was like
they
put ham down his pants and poured milk on. I'm like, God damn, like
yeah. And like, I don't know what state they're in, but if you did that to a kid in Texas, somebody would have went to jail for that.
Exactly.
I want to know what school is serving those kids that wet ass ham. Like, I need to know.
I'm trying to figure out how you get the ham and milk combo. Was this at breakfast where they
say that
Sunday?
No, you know, at lunchtime you can get
because like you trying to blow up your whole sewage system. You giving kids ham and milk?
Yeah, man, you trying to flood that system.
Some milk.
That septic tank about to be overflowing.
Man. But no, I don't condone bullying in any way, shape, form, or fashion. But it calls into question whether the kid was bullied or not.
The message was perfect. It's just the wrong people with the message, because it united America. Don't get me wrong. Like, people actually
flew in and filled up that money quick.
Yeah, quick. Never seen it that quick, man. So it was.
Yeah, well, you can go support that fishing. They dropping money like that.
I was like, I need to start a GoFundMe because Griffin, DeMarcus be hating on me about my Spurs all the time. I'm getting bullied in here on the air. Why can't I get a GoFundMe?
I'll fund that one.
I might go to the meat market, get some of that pressed ham with the stuff around it.
I'll fund that for that ticket.
You better get some good ham. If you're gonna bully me with the ham, it better be some honey glazed ham. Don't give me that cheap.
Getting pressed ham, bro. I want it to hurt. If we gotta make this right,
do it.
We gotta.
I can't do it. I'm calling the cops on all of y'all. Let me get my Denzel Oscar performance on. I'm putting charges on both of y'all.
Both of y'all smack while he rolling his eyes. I can see Denzel saying that.
Like I said, bullying is an important issue that I hope will be discussed by the correct people. But I'm glad they shut that account down. They ain't gonna get none of our money. Or none of they
almost came up like,
man.
Oh my God!
But the thing that this is what blows my mind, and you know, it's funny because I have, you know, younger I guess people around me sometimes with my nephew and stuff like that. It's just crazy listening to their conversation about people bullying. And I was like, man, I can't believe bullying is still going on right now because the nerds.
It's worse.
Because
it's worse. You have more avenues in which to do it.
But the thing that always blows my mind is like you say that, but I'm thinking of like in general statement of like elementary or middle school. Just to think that the
like
people that
trying to shake you down for your lunch money or something like that.
The people that quote unquote got bullied were nerds. And the nerds are popular now, so it's just like, who do you bully now? You bullying the popular?
We lit right now, homie.
That's we got I don't know, man.
We got Bitcoin accounts to pay off hitmen for y'all.
Yes, sir. You trying to bully me, and I got a 4.0? You can get out of my face.
I got people. I'll have people that I can send for you, sir. I don't take bullying lightly.
Bro, I just wrote a new script for Marvel, man. You better get out of my face.
Oh, talk about the Marvel getting the Fox characters. That happened too.
Oh yeah, man. The thing that's crazy about that is Mr. Wilson doesn't like that. Me personally, I think I
can't say that I don't like it. I'm just cautious about it. But go ahead.
And I'm with him for the simple fact is with Disney, you don't know what you're gonna get because you know sometimes Disney can give you some movies that kind of press the tempo, and I haven't seen one in a while because you know if you watch Pirates of the Caribbean, that was back in 2001. That movie was PG. 13, but that movie kind of pushed the tempo, and it's just like Disney is not known for making these darker movies, which are, I believe, is required if you're going to do an X-Men type of film, or if you really want to get with Fantastic Four, because Fantastic Four is quote unquote a type of a horror story and get that kind of the maturity out of those characters. I don't know if they're going to do that, but if they are going to do that, it's going to be impressive to watch, just to see that mesh up with the universe that they got going on right now. It's going to be real interesting if they go the phase 4 route that we talked about on last podcast. If they do like phase 4 or phase 5 of their films and make it the Age of Mutants or something like that, and make it more mature for the mature audience and not as goofy and light as a lot of their movies are. Because let me be honest with you, I'm sorry to go long on this, Marcus, but
you're good, baby. You're perfect.
I don't know if you know, but Guardians of the Galaxy 2, I don't know. I think you were a fan of that movie. It dropped on Netflix.
No,
see, okay. So I'm glad you said that you're not, because it dropped on Netflix.
I hate both of them. I've never liked them.
It is incredible to me. I watched that movie and it is horrible. It's a terrible movie. It's a really terrible fucking movie. And the thing that blows my mind is it got like a 80 something on Rotten Tomatoes. And I'm just like, I watched Justice League again. I'm like, what the fuck did I miss here? How is Guardians of the Galaxy at 80 something on Rotten Tomatoes and Justice League is
You want to know
40?
something funny, Griff?
It's like, what?
You want to know something funny?
What happened?
All these folks that love to cheerlead and talk about how great Guardians is and stuff like that are the same people that I have to look at sideways, because they're the same people that would run a movie, I don't know, like Daredevil through the mud.
Wow.
Daredevil, the motion picture Daredevil, for me, got such a raw deal because everybody, I didn't like Ben Affleck or I didn't like Jennifer.
The director's cut of that movie
I give not a damn about that. It was a good movie. It was well acted and it was well played out, but people still rake it over the coals. The same thing with this Justice League movie. They go through and they rake it over. So, and that's why I'm like, okay, well, whatever it is that attracts you, that's fine. If a baby Groot is what you love, that's great. The one thing that I will say about this Marvel Fox acquisition thing, PG-13 Doctor Doom, I'm not going to fucking see it.
Don't give me he needs to be brought.
Don't give me a PG-13 Magneto. Don't want to fucking see it. Don't do it. If you're going to get all these characters and stuff like that, get it with the intent of using it to magnify what you've already created. If they're smart with it, you go through. If you finalize this acquisition and stuff like that, I would not go through and use any of these characters in anything until after we've gone through, had the Infinity War finish itself out, you do the reboot of the Marvel Universe again, and then you can reintroduce all of these other characters, do your crossovers, maybe contemplate a X-Men versus Avengers or an X-Men Avengers mashup, give me a real Kree Skrull war or give me a real Invasion storyline. Now that you have even more characters to go through and do all of this stuff with, but don't dumb it down and make it all PG-13 across the board, because
I need full savages.
I like what Wilson said, because if you want to be truth be told, the thing I like about X-Men is the raw grittiness of what it is. And for today's political climate, a damn good X-Men movie is due right now. I kid you fucking not, because the thing about X-Men was it dealt with diversity, it dealt with the gender bounds that we are dealing with right now. It deals with political views. It touched on all that shit.
X-Men was real world.
And that's what I'm talking about. It's perfect. And the thing about these characters that they're grabbing with the X-Men, with grabbing Spider-Man, renting Spider-Man and grabbing Fantastic Four, they're known more for their villains more than their heroes, where a lot of the characters they have now are Iron Man, Captain America. They have okay villains. They have maybe two,
but they run through so quick, like they easy to defeat. You know?
But that's cool. You can knock them out. You can. Don't you give me a like you said a Magneto and you kill him off in one movie?
Yeah, no.
Don't you bring in fucking Doctor Doom? Don't you bring in Galactus and he gets smacked around like Surtur did at the beginning of Thor? Don't you do that? Don't you waste the talent of what a person put in to create these characters, because a lot of their villains were on a span of many issues, just like their heroes. So it wasn't just a one-off. So don't discredit what somebody put time into and do it like a 15-second joke or whatever Marvel does with their films, which I hate.
Exactly. You can't give me a one-shot Surtur, but you gave me an entire season of Purple Man looking like the greatest villain in the history of the fucking world on Jessica Jones. And he's like a Z-list villain. He's not even
villain.
B or C. And they made him look like the coolest villain of all time.
And he has a point. He has a point.
Like literally, they made the Purple Man so goddamn legit on Jessica Jones, but you go through and you got, you know, super soft characters. You got a super weak ass Ego on Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I mean, I just don't get the logic of it. I don't get the logic of it. You're gonna sit here and you're gonna tell me that I'm supposed to fear Purple Man more than I am a living fucking planet?
And you know what's fun? And you know what's crazy about that? I love it when Marcus says that, because with Ultron,
you know, speaking the real though.
Ultron can control everywhere. Control anything and everywhere, and you telling me all he did was raise up a fucking part of this continent and to drop it down? He could control nukes, all this technology as we know it. But you know, it is what it is. And the thing about this that I love about just a lot of these characters, or that I love about DC in certain regards, because I'm gonna illuminate this. The thing I loved about Marvel with the X-Men franchise and with DC, they show love to the villains. And you know what? They didn't cram a lot of X-Men had to juggle. I mean, X-Men 1 had to juggle a whole fucking team, and then then they had to add in the villains, and I got a full-fledged movie, and I felt like it was complete. I watch Iron Man or Thor or some shit like this, and I don't feel like a complete film was done. It's like, oh yeah, that was a cool. I saw Thor, but the villain was just like, and it's like, what are you gonna do with this? It's like you could do so much more with these films, but you want to spend like 30 minutes of the movie making sure that you do this fucking joke right or some shit like that, and it pisses me off. You're wasting good story on just getting the kids to watch this film. Kids are not stupid. I was 11 years old when Spider-Man came out, and I'm just like, damn, I was able to grab the adulthood of that movie and the childness in that movie, and it wasn't intended for just children, but I can appreciate that film. Like, give kids some credit, and that's what the thing I don't like about Disney. They don't give kids credit, like they don't know how to think, and it blows my mind. And I feel like we deserve more, but we settle for less, basically.
Yeah, I feel you on that, man. But
yeah, man, I had
to talk about, man.
You better stop that shit.
I need y'all to talk about that Empire.
You better stop that,
man.
Hold on, man. Don't y'all talk to me like that.
Hey, we got to talk about that man right there. That man right there. You want to be
out here trying to test my family, man. They trying to test my family.
Two Emmys need to be two people need to be nominated for an Emmy. That boy Terrence Howard. And what's her name? Cookie. Oh my God, I can't remember her name right now. Taraji. Both of them need to be nominated for an Emmy, because what they did with Terrence Howard character this whole entire season, from what I've seen over all these episodes, is impressive. The way you can I care about him more now. Like, at first he was a one-off character. Like, he was so annoying. I was tired for them. I was ready for them to get rid of him, but they didn't. But Lucia's character right now is more raw, more emotional, more I can get attached to his character. And this whole episode, for the most part, for me, was okay. But man, I love how Empire can give me the fluff, but it can give me the seriousness. So I guess I can't appreciate that, because a lot of that fluff with fucking Hakeem, man, they could really miss me with a lot of his scenes.
Well, I don't know about you, but candy out there, babe.
Man,
you got to keep the eye candy out there. You got to appeal to the demographic of the people that are actually watching the show. So I get that, and I mean,
my daughter.
You know what I'm saying? They doing a thing, but for me, I like the fact that the storyline itself progressed fairly well. This was more of an episode that had a lot of interaction and a lot of quote unquote talking to kind of get you caught up on things and stuff like that. But they came through at the end for you, boy, because they threw a nice little curveball. I'm not gonna spoil, but they threw a nice little curveball at the end of that episode that's gonna set up this mid-season finale tomorrow real well.
Yeah, it's really nice. Well. It was a deep episode. It was real. And if you missed it, man, you missed something good. You really can skip like damn near 30 minutes of the episode and then
hit up Hulu, catch up, do your thing. Now, for my money, I would gladly trade in those Emmy nominations for Cookie and Lucius to get them after this fall finale to switch over and be like a Netflix or Hulu exclusive, so I can actually get an R-rated Empire, because I think that's the only thing that Empire is missing to make it one of the best shows out there. If Empire and or Star were on a streaming service and we're giving the full rated R treatment, Those would probably be the two hottest shows
It
out.
would get that
So if
TV.
Empire had like that power.
No,
that
yeah.
power-
What
Yes,
Empire?
Empire. If you gave Empire an R-rated, if you gave Empire an
MA?
R-rated
Yeah, MA rating.
feel with the same kind of direction that they're headed in right now, they would be better than Power.
And you know what's
and I
even-
never thought that I'd say
And
that.
you know what's even I like what he said about that. And the thing about Empire, which I wish it did, was it condenses episode. You don't need 23 episodes. We need 13 episodes of fleshed out story, because a lot of this,
Man, you
a lot
could
of
give me
Empire-
10 1-hour episodes and I'm good. If
Yeah,
they
because-
fire from front to back with an MA rating, I'm good.
You chop some of that fat off of the Empire with the prolonging on like the emotional bullshit scenes, or the little catty scenes that they throw in, or the extra scenes that serve no purpose to the story. You chop some of that fat off, man, Empire would really be killing it, because I think they can really do more with a TV MA rating with Hakeem's character, and not make it so TV-ish and so goofy, like how he seems like a character of himself. And you can kind of do more with Jamal and make him more, I guess, emotional, that a lot of us can really feel it more. Because if you want to be honest, there's a few gay characters, I can't think of some, like on The Wire or on Spartacus and stuff like that, or Game of Thrones. There's few gayer characters that I personally, I'm not trying to be rude or nothing, but I'm not a gay person, but I can sympathize with a gay person. So I can see you actually loving another dude, and I can be emotionally attached with that and say, okay, I can believe that. And I don't get that with Jamal a lot of times on a lot of his scenes. So it kind of just be like,
man, they paint him out to be like such a hoe.
That's what I'm saying. I don't feel it. I don't feel it, but I feel like if with a TV MA rating, I can probably feel that more, and I can get more emotional attachment to it. And they can really just do a lot. And I like what you said, but Fox is not going to give that shit up, because that's bread and fucking butter for them, right?
They need that money in their back pocket.
Oh, you know what?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, take that back. No, because Disney is acquiring Fox, so they're going to take their TV division too. Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh shit! That could be something serious. Now I'm thinking about it, because Fox, ABC, they're trying to do their whole streaming service that they're trying to pop off. Man, this could be something serious. You might have something on your hand, Marcus.
And I mean, it can be big for
Hey,
Disney.
Let's send out a tweet.
It's just a thing.
See what they gonna say.
Yeah, this
it can be big for Disney, but is Disney going to go through and make all this stuff vanilla? Are they going to go through and take the fire and the spice out of all these things that make these shows attractive? And that's the part that makes it kind of scary when you talk about Disney acquiring things, left and right and this, that, and the other, because, there aren't too many things in the way of ventures that they've acquired that have actually improved, in my opinion. They've gotten more exposure, they've saturated the market more, but I don't think they've necessarily improved, because before Disney, I actually loved and enjoyed waking up watching ESPN. I don't hardly watch any of that shit now.
But you know what? What Disney did have back in the day when they had like their when they had all that coming out, they were mature in a lot of their stuff, but they kind of softened it up. They play to the time. That's the thing I like about it.
They pushed it.
Man, they pushed. Woo, man, boy. Hey,
Boy Meets World pushed it, bro.
Boy Meets World really. Hey, I tell people all the time, my mama raised me, my daddy raised me, and Boy Meets World raised me. Because there's some mature shit on that TV show, but Disney kind of plays with the time, so it kind of is a softer time in the world. But you know what? I wish they pushed the envelope and darkened it up a little bit, because I love it. I would love it.
These kids so impressionable, so I mean that's kind of why they did it. Cause these kids developing at a fast rate.
These kids are developing faster than we were.
That I have with Disney on the other side of that too is, kids are impressionable, so I understand the natural affinity to want to dumb it down, but it doesn't limit them from throwing out their propaganda in their programming either.
That's true.
Just because they're making it PG-13 doesn't mean that they're not trying to sway and influence minds to follow a certain agenda or narrative that they want to enforce or promote. You know what I'm saying? So from that standpoint, it just doesn't sell with me. That's the reason why we have parental locks on cable systems and on TVs and stuff like that. There's nothing that says that you can't make mature content just because you're Disney. Like you can't limit access to kids. I don't understand that at all. Modern technology, modern media, and stuff like that, you can go through and you can prevent kids from watching whatever it is that you don't want them to watch.
Our parents
don't try to have a fake moral compass when I look at all the phallic symbols and images that you have in your cartoon and in your animated stuff, but you don't want to put out a quote-unquote R-rated product. Miss me with that.
I like it.
Man, tell me about this. Tell me about this. This boy Grill. Tell me about this Big Sean album that dropped, man. How many tracks on there? What's the title of it?
Woo!
Is it bumping, man?
He started off
Man.
with the Ric Flair. You know this shit got
Right, he's strutting over there, man.
Yeah.
This album was wheeling dealing.
Okay, okay.
Okay, shit. Rolex wearing, girl kissing. Okay.
Oh. But let me go ahead and say I don't know the
Chest chop my mama over here, man.
Hey, I ain't gonna Ric Flair on.
I gotta go ahead, grip my bad.
But now I don't know the name of this album, but I know it's Big Sean and Metro Boomin, and they dropped it on Friday. I want to say it's been getting a lot of heat. A lot of people, honestly, people give Big Sean the most bullshit reaction to everything he releases, and it blows my mind. A lot of people say he's boring or says that it's whack or something like that, and I just be like, what the hell are we? What are y'all looking for? Because he gives you great lyricism, great wordplay, and he doesn't sound like anybody else but Big Sean. There's nobody else that
went platinum like 15 million times back in the 90s. I can tell you that right now.
Exactly. Nobody sounds like, in this day and age, everybody kind of sounds like somebody else. Like Big Crit sounds like Outkast. Kendrick Lamar sounds like, if you want to get technical, he may sound like a little bit of Pac, a little bit of Jay's, or J. Cole sounds like Jay and stuff like this. Who the fuck does Big Sean sound like? Nobody. There's nobody I could trace back to say, you know what, he can speed up, slow down, and they kind of shift his wordplay. Maybe Eminem on how he used to do it, but
I was about to say the only sort of comparison that I can make, but that's just for underground heads, and it's from that same region. In a lot of ways, the way that he kind of flips some of his lyrics reminds me of Royce the 5'9".
oh yeah, I can see it. They both from the same area, so
Yeah,
I can see that being true.
And a lot of, but it's just like a random similarity. It's not like, oh, when I hear him, I just hear Royce. No, but I can tell that there's some influence there. But you're right, Sean does have a very unique style,
Super unique.
and a very unique delivery, very creative.
And everybody, and it's been getting a lot of heat. And Big Sean, I don't know what it is. Everybody else is succeeding this year, but it just seems like Big Sean is not having that type of year, because I Decided hasn't got the reaction from the mass.
Damn good album, bro.
And I thought it was an amazing album, but a lot of people were giving it shit.
I jammed that for about 2 months straight, like seriously.
And I still jam that album. I still think that he has like what is that, the Voices in My Head and stuff like that. It's a great album, and the thing about his album was it was a good concept, but it is what it is. I don't know what people like to look for, but this album right here with Metro Boomin, I think it's amazing. There's like 3 tracks with Sway Lee and one with this female chick. It was a great concept, but I wasn't feeling it. But I thought the album was amazing. I think Big Sean is a underrated lyricist, and 2 songs that he really spotlights his talent on is on Savage Time and In Tune. Those are my 2 songs. I feel like Big Sean just kind of showcase what he's about. I mean, that dude got bars.
That's what's up, man. I'm gonna have to catch that, man. That's been it for the entertainment side of everything. So before we get into the sports side, we all gonna give a quickly shout out. What you got? What you got?
Can I drop one more nugget?
Oh, go ahead, my man.
Everybody if you a Dave East person or you're not really a Dave East person, Dave East, what he does is he does these East mix, which are basically the remixes of a lot of popular songs out. So Jadakiss and Fab had this good song on their album called Soul Food. That was a great track. So he did an East mix to that, and it's called, Dave East Soul Food East Mix. That song is incredible. I think everybody should go check it out. It should really make you a fan of Dave East after you hear that song. You probably want to check out more from him.
That's what's up, man. Shout out to Dave East.
Harlem.
Okay.
Dead ass B.
Dead ass B.
All right, hold on, Wilson. Take your Timbs off, bro.
No, that ain't gonna happen, homie. It's cold outside.
You wear them on to bed.
It's cold outside.
Yeah, he's cold outside, man. I need to warm my body up. Put them Timbs on.
Facts.
Real Tim, son. Wheat, leather back. I'm in that floofy colored shit. Nah.
Yes, sir.
Hey, quick shout out to Baker Mayfield for taking home that Heisman. Put up a hell of a season, man. I think it's well deserved. I still want to say Saquon Barkley win, but I know those big losses that Penn State had, they couldn't give it to him. So shout out to Baker Mayfield for
Who
taking
needs
home
him?
that Heisman.
What NFL team needs him?
Oh, if you ask me, the Jacksonville Jaguars are perfect for Baker Mayfield, and that would be the worst thing for the AFC South if he went there. Because that team is set up for a fiery quarterback. That's all
I said Denver.
Yeah, but
I don't know if him and John Elway would get along.
Yeah,
to be honest.
Yeah, he got too much ego.
Yeah, then he gonna try to bring in a free agent on top of that and have him like competing. Like I know for sure if he went to the Jaguars,
I brought in Josh McCown.
You know what I'm saying?
Piss you off. Josh McCown start balling. What the hell? Damn.
Josh McCown and Blaine Gabbert and still got Trevor Siemian and going, come on, man. Nah. I think he'd be perfect for the Jags in my opinion. That's a team that's set up to win. All they need is a fiery quarterback like that. And I think he's still gonna drop in the draft a little bit because it's attitude issues, but it's gonna be a lot of change going on with the Giants, man. I don't think that'll be the perfect.
They're gonna have a worse record. They won't. The reason why I say the Jags, so the Jags ain't gonna have a terrible record.
But I also don't see Baker Mayfield going high. The Giants don't buy into Baker Mayfield, number one, for a few reasons. It's not that poster boy, golden boy type look that they want for their franchise. Two, there's no way in hell. There's no way in hell that Baker Mayfield, in spite of all his success that he's had this season, would justify being the number 2 overall pick. Sorry, not buying it. Not buying it. They have many more areas to address. There are many more blue chip, I don't know, offensive linemen that they can take at that pick.
What? Offensive linemen, running backs? Oh my goodness.
Yeah. They're gonna take Barkley, or they're gonna take the best lineman. That's what it is.
They could trade up and get Baker Mayfield if it's nobody they like, but I fully expect Baker Mayfield to go somewhere in the 20s. I don't expect him to go anywhere in the
I don't expect Baker Mayfield to make it out of the bottom half of the first round, maybe the early second round, a la Kevin King maybe type situation. But yeah, he won't last past round 2, especially if he tests well at the combine and he gets his mind together and interviews well. The interviews are actually going to matter a little bit.
That's going to be the most important thing for his draft stock. Yeah, no doubt.
Yep. He's going to have to interview well. If he interviews well, he's low second to mid first round talent. If he interviews bad, he might be fourth round to 6th round talent.
You're right.
Yeah, easy. And my man Wilson, the evil empire strikes again. John Carlos and
just around the Star Wars time. Return of the Yankees.
And it's getting worse.
How you feel about the move overall?
I think that it is a good move. It's a typical Yankees move. You go out, you acknowledge the fact that you weren't the best thing on the field, so you do what it takes to be the best team on the field. One thing that I tell people as a Yankees fan, it's funny to me because I understand why people hate the team and stuff like that. But if you are a fan of sports, it's kind of hard for you to not understand why Yankees fans love being Yankees fans, because our team is world renowned for doing whatever it takes to put out the best possible team on the field to win every single year. As a fan, you should want nothing more than that. And they'll do whatever it takes to do it. Thus the Evil Empire moniker. Now, the thing that's been developing since we've been on this podcast is the fact that they've gotten Stanton. They're still under the luxury tax. They just traded their third baseman Headley to get even further under the luxury tax because good old Manny Machado, one of the best third basemen in baseball and another huge righty bat, is squarely on their radar to be acquired by the Yankees. So, like I said, they're not done wheeling and dealing.
One thing I got to say, Yankees, Green Bay, the Spurs. Boy, you a fan of some great franchises.
I'm lucky. In my youth, you couldn't say that. In my youth, you couldn't say that.
You picked the best.
Now, okay, well, look at it like this. Look at it like this, though. I'm 41 years old. I started rooting for the Yankees in 1981. I started rooting for the Packers in 1983. I was born into the San Antonio thing because I was born in San Antonio. So I've been a Spurs since 76. It wasn't all rosy. It wasn't all good. It wasn't all winning and successful. Like I said, I'm lucky because they're in that position where they're successful now. My childhood was not very fun.
Hey, Unc got that knowledge.
I mean, it just is what it is. And I tell people on two fronts, because people look at it and they're like, oh, you might be bandwagon this, that, and the other, to which one of those conversations that I don't really have with people too often because it makes too much sense for people to digest is, at the nature of fandom itself, everybody is a bandwagon. It just depends on the type of bandwagon you chose to do. For me, my bandwagon comes from the fact that literally either it was a first game that I ever saw in that sport or the first team that I ever saw in that sport that I liked, and I just stuck with them. The only exception to that is the fact that the Spurs are the only team that I have in the city that I was actually born in to root for. So from that standpoint, it works out for me. But to me, and I'm in a very small minority with this, people that choose to root for teams simply because they live there, to me, is backwards. That's making a misinformed decision, and to me, that's more bandwagon than somebody that roots for somebody that's popular.
You know what's funny?
Go there.
DeMarcus had that Star Wars Empire music in the background, and I said, you know what? Doesn't really sound like he part of the First Order.
Because he was going full heel.
Yeah.
I had
You feel like he was part of. He was about to leave.
I appreciate that. I was feeling it.
He didn't miss a beat either. He was
Star Wars.
But that's the thing for me, man. When it comes to the whole fandom thing, like for me, I really don't care the reason that you root for your teams or how long you've been rooting for them per se or whatever. Just be diligent with it. I mean, for me, it's not like, when we first met, I was a Cowboys fan, but they shitty this year, so I'm gonna just root for the Packers now. I don't do that kind of. I don't flip flop. I mean, I've been consistent with my teams. Now, granted,
yeah, we know. I was giving you shit.
No, I know y'all know, and that's what we do. But a lot of fans, and especially on social media, we get into this whole big thing where people try to low key judge or hate on folks because of the teams that they choose to root for, and it's like, oh well, Griff, you're an Eagles fan. You ain't even from Philadelphia. You ain't even from Pennsylvania. Why you rooting for them? Because he can. Because he liked the team.
Exactly, man. That's why I love the Chargers, because I've only became a fan of the Chargers.
We gotta hear the Chargers.
We ain't say nothing about the Chargers,
man. I'm a fan of the Chargers until I die.
Don't bring up this Chargers stuff.
Let me tell you,
kill that Chargers stuff.
Two of the greatest white men that I've never met are Dirk Nowitzki and Phillip Rivers, and those are the two people I ride for wherever they go.
Jesus Christ.
Greatest white. Oh, and one other person, Leo.
Oh
Leo is the third one. Those are three.
The bromance. Cue the Titanic.
That's another one. Justin Timberlake. That's another one. That's another dude I like. I got four white people that hold it down.
Oh my God! I cannot with you this evening, sir.
Hey,
I cannot with you.
Disney should pay us because we gave them an ultimate plug for Star Wars dropping this Friday. Go check it out.
Man, I cannot wait.
Star Wars do drop this Friday.
Yes, sir. So I'll be in there.
Lord.
They need to send us $10 or something. Man.
Mace Windu in that hoe.
Because I want with a free ticket. Let me get a voucher for some popcorn.
Yeah, let me get some popcorn, a drink.
To continue the Wilson fandom power hour, we're gonna jump into
me, son. It's all about me.
The return of the Claw. The Claw comes.
The Claw.
The Claw's gonna be playing the Rockets this Friday.
Oh,
yeah. So do I smell a wager? Where's the wagers? What we doing?
Now, before you guys get all ahead of yourself and drown yourselves in your Rockets cockiness, understand this.
MVP.
Kawhi has been cleared to play, but he will be on a pitch count. They will have him on minutes restriction so he can kind of work himself back in. As a Spurs fan, very interested to see exactly how healthy he is, exactly how much time they're going to allow him to be on the court, and like if they're going to play him situationally, if they're going to let him play late, if they're going to play him early and sit him, whatever would happen. Even though man, I like it.
That's the Wilson power.
But the key, the biggest key I think for us when it comes to Leonard, man, is the Spurs have came out and held their own really, really well. They're 19-8 right now, third in the Western Conference, without Kawhi playing at all this season. We've seen a tremendous effort from LaMarcus Aldridge. We've seen a really, really good team effort. They've really had that next man up, next man to shine mentality. Some games is Manu, some games it's Parker, some games it's Patty, some games it's
Manu stay pissing people off, man, because he pissed a lot of Celtics off.
Damn, man.
God damn.
It's Manu, baby.
Man,
it's Manu.
When he got that
it's what he does.
I looked at him and I said, watch Manu hit this three and piss everybody off. And what did he do? Swish. The Spurs pissing.
It's Manu.
Like I don't think he's an athlete that's broken my heart more than Manu.
Man, Manu is the king. His nickname should be Mr. Heartbreak.
Hey, I'm down with it.
I'm down. I think he needs to get that tatted on him somewhere, Mr. Heartbreak, because he breaks a lot of hearts.
That dude there is clutch.
But you know what's crazy about it? Kawhi coming back at the perfect game, because what's the perfect team to warm up against and get ready and get your feel for basketball than play the lonely Dallas Mavericks, who don't have Dennis Smith Jr. right now.
And they are currently winning right now.
Who's winning?
Dallas.
Oh damn! Well, they always good for the first.
Man, come on, Spurs. Don't do that shit when y'all lose to the Mavericks, then blow out the Rockets. Don't do
Ain't
that.
it funny how it worked with them Texas battles?
Ginobili gonna block Harden shot again, and I'm gonna be pissed all over again. I'm like, oh, here we go again. Everybody coming out to say Harden.
It's gonna be fun to see, man. And contrary to what a lot of folks,
players I say this about, but when Manu Ginobili leave, I will miss the hell out that guy because he played basketball the right way.
Yeah.
He brought it in and out. He did it consistently. He showed up on the biggest stages, and there's not a lot of players you can say that about at 40.
None. I can't think of no person. There's no person I can think of right now that I say to show up in the biggest stage than Ginobili.
Continues to show up.
He doesn't fail. He does not.
Regular season, postseason, every night.
He did. Hey, but he did miss that one shot that would have beat the Heat. And Tim
Duncan
missed that putback. He did miss that.
He missed some free throws down the stretch. Him and Kawhi that would have pretty much iced that series in 2013. But I mean, you're allowed to have a few mistakes.
But they look like they did the next year. So,
they steamrolled them.
Steamrolled. Boy, they cut the heat off on them.
That's the biggest blowout ever in NBA Finals history.
That was one of the greatest series. People call that series boring, but I was loving it. Just seeing LeBron just crumble.
Oh, it was boring because they kept watching their famous heels get their ass drug up and down the court. That's why it was boring.
Spurs was
it wasn't boring if you like basketball. It wasn't boring if you like basketball.
That was the best style of basketball I've ever seen in the finals. Man, the way y'all was moving the ball, everybody was getting their touches. Y'all didn't settle for a good shot. Y'all went for a great shot. Man, I'm talking about, damn, the Spurs was balling that year.
Speaking of ball, what about those Ball brothers signing?
Oh, here we go.
Get money.
Did you see him on the sideline over here on this Lakers game? He been hyping.
They ain't got nothing else to do. Shoot, they about to chill for him.
He do what he wants to.
What a fight!
For anybody and everybody that don't know, congratulations to LeVar Ball. Because you did your damn job as a father.
Oh,
all three of your children are professional athletes.
Yeah.
All three of your children are professional athletes.
Within 6 months.
You have done your job. Done your job as a father.
6 months, we got 3 professional athletes within 6 months.
I have to agree with y'all. I'm not gonna hate on LeVar right now. He did what he got to do. Getting paid.
I mean, there's nothing to hate on.
Hey, getting paid overseas. You got signed with a good team. I hope both of them do well over there and they find their way to the NBA. How old is the youngest one? He's like 16?
16. 5-star recruit.
I'm just like, bro, why is he going over there? But I'm just like, don't you want to finish?
Why not? Nobody said anything when Brandon Jennings went.
Right?
Yeah, that's Brandon Jennings, man. You see him now. He out there now.
He's getting a paycheck, right?
Yeah, but he out there crazy.
He's taking care of his family, right?
I don't know, man.
I mean, at the end of the day, we can look at it as fans, and then we can look at it as practical fans. But the thing about it for me is, I'm more concerned about them making a life for themselves. I don't care how they make a living. Yeah, they can go be professional athletes, make ridiculous amounts of money and this, that, and the other, and people can call them a bust. People can call them this. People can call them that. Brock Osweiler is a bust and a half, but he still got $72 million, right? So he's still winning at the end of the day, regardless of what we think of him.
Well,
that's the ultimate goal.
Well, I wasn't too much talking about you get your money anyway means, everybody is now in the mind of chasing the bag. We all got that. But what I'm trying to say from a maturity standpoint, you're 16, you're in a place that you're not familiar with. That's a big culture shock. I don't care what nobody says. I don't care what nobody. You're living in
it's a hell of an experience, though.
No, it's an experience. But what I'm really trying to say, where they're going. I was listening to some
10,000 people, my man.
No, I was listening to a guy, and he was basically talking about the culture over there, how completely different. These guys are from Chino Hills. There's no Burger King, there's no McDonald's, there's no more servants, there's no more none of that. For a 16-year-old person to encounter that, you're not ready for that. That's what I'm saying.
But at least he's not doing it alone.
But that's what you have your sibling for. That's what you
have. That's what I got. That's what I got. But that's what I got.
That's what you have an ecosystem around you for. We don't know all the people that are going to be in place around him yet.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying with that. But I'm talking about from this. I'm putting on. I got Xavier right now. I'm not trying to say I'm a full-fledged dad, but I'm putting my dad hat on. As a dad, just me thinking about sending my child who is 16, not even still, pretty much still developing over there in a whole nother country is just looks a little. It's just like, man, that's just I don't know, because sending somebody to college is one thing. That's a whole nother country where you're about to live with big brother. But man, nothing beats like mommy and daddy right there, and they're not right there to help you through those years right now.
But again, it speaks to the level of we don't know who they're going to have
Yeah, I
around
do
him and in
understand.
place
You are
with
right.
him. And you know, we can say that, but when it's flipped or reversed, nobody had them same kind of questions about Dirk. Nobody had them same kind of questions
Well,
about Tony Parker. And both of
well,
them came here before they were 19 years old.
and you know what? The thing about that is, and the thing I love how you put that is, they were coming from nothing and going into a situation that was better for you. Yeah, this is going to be better for them in the long term because you're playing in, you know, you're getting a paycheck and stuff like that. But the meaning of life is worse than what they're accustomed to. And I'm just saying, you're still 16, you still got a lot of stuff going on. I'm pretty sure. I'm not trying to really knock the youngest one, probably a great kid, but I'm pretty sure you lived a certain type of lifestyle that Dirk and Manu were accustomed to.
Okay,
So,
but
you know,
but
but
this
I
is the part
understand.
that you have to understand, though, when it comes to international basketball and stuff like that, as somebody who's had friends that have played overseas and stuff like that, the culture of the country itself may be one way. The way that they treat their athletes, however,
they
is
are rock
completely
stars.
different.
Yeah, I heard.
I
Yeah,
have friends that played overseas and stuff like that, and they will literally go over there and you will never spend any of your money because they'll give you a house, they'll give you a car, and everybody knows that you're there as a professional athlete, so they're not going to make you pay for anything.
Yeah,
so
in
that regard, the culture shock may not be so different from what they're experiencing in Chino Hills because they're still going to be looked at as celebrities because remember, the world is them signing.
I'm just looking at it from dad hat, but I mean, I understand. I get both of them.
I completely understand, but there's nothing that says that, hey, we don't know the circle that they're going to have around them. We don't know how often LeVar may or may not go over there to be with them.
Yeah, that's true. So it's gonna be interesting
right now, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the smartest guy in the world. I'm pretty sure that Lonzo would not mind if Dad went to Lithuania for a few months.
Yeah, and I'm interested. I'm interested. I'm not.
That's true. That's
true. This is how I'm gonna end this. I'm not judging their story. I'm interested to see how it plays out.
Oh hell yeah!
That's what I'm more interested about
because I want to see their development.
Exactly, and I'm sure they'll succeed in life. But right now, LeVar is killing it on all cylinders.
Yeah, I just
he gets on a lot of people's nerves, and he gets on my nerves.
And pointed it out on the LeVar stance because sometimes people get away from the fact of the ultimate goal for that man as a dad. People don't take the time to really focus on that. His ultimate goal is being realized as a dad. He doesn't care what people think about him. He did what it took to get his kids where he told his kids he was going to get them.
They were okay. They'll be on the Lakers in a few years.
Yeah,
man, that's gonna be a loaded. That's gonna be a loaded bench, man. Who gonna take LeBron his Gatorade in between timeouts?
Oh, he gonna be in Houston, so he ain't got to worry about that.
Yeah, I knew that was coming. Good save, man.
Well, man, let's discuss the
sound like
NFL MVP.
Who?
I'm not talking about Aaron Rodgers.
We're not talking about. Hold on, we're not talking about the where LeBron going.
You want to talk about that now?
Okay. Let's not talk about it. Okay, let's go. NFL.
We know
it's a rumor. It's a rumor. It could have been talked about. It can't be discussed.
It's just nothing to discuss.
LeBron,
if the rumor had been that he was huddled up and chatting with Popovich through text message, you wouldn't want to talk about this right now. Because they talked about the rumor of him going to Houston.
Oh, here we go. I would love to hear. If the rumor was that he's going to the Spurs, trust me.
As sick as I would be, if I knew that LeBron James
wanted to go to the Spurs
over there,
we would talk about
that James jersey on.
We would have a funeral on air for the both of y'all because the next 4 championships will roll straight through the 2-1.
We would have discussions about me putting in my resignation as a Rockets fan. Because y'all gonna run that. Oh, we gonna run that. Y'all gonna run a table on my ass.
That makes too much sense for it to happen. So that's why I don't. That's why I don't even really put any.
Being serious about the situation, it's just no better situation for him to come to. Ariza can easily side to the bench, bring that defense to that second unit even more.
Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. The best 2 options that he has at this stage of the game and at his particular age would be to go to Houston or to go to San Antonio.
Yep,
because he could literally, with either one of those 2, there's no guesswork about it. He would win and win big immediately at either one of those 2 spots.
And on top of that, he gets to do exactly what LeBron been wanting to do for the longest time.
Relax.
play less
coast through the regular
units.
season. Yeah.
Chill.
Play
Hey,
less
James got it.
minutes.
James got it. James, take the
would-
second and third quarters. I'll come in the fourth.
I got it.
I'll come in the fourth.
I'll come in there with my 28 minutes, and that's it.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah. I just like y'all to know.
That's what Steph Curry did that first year he won MVP.
My first action as a Rocket, I would like to let y'all know
You
that
should've
I'm
got that.
fully committed to not playing more than 22 minutes a game. It's not necessary.
But I will make the
gonna
max. But I will make the max.
I'm going to
but-
save my knees for the playoffs.
But yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Right now, I'm gonna sprinkle a little love for the Rockets. Hey, that's gonna be a great matchup to see if we get that 11th victory over these boys on Friday.
Oh, the game Friday. Well, I mean, you know, the one thing that
12th,
we can all the one thing that we can all appreciate is the fact that over the years, whether good, bad, ugly, regardless of record and stuff like that, man, the Rockets of San Antonio always play each other tough, and it's always entertaining. That part I have no doubt about. One of the funny things that I love to remind Rockets fans about is that most of the years that we've won championships, we've actually lost the season series to the Rockets. So I don't mind losing.
We swept y'all and lost to the Blazers, man.
That was terrible. That was horrible.
Yeah, how you feel? Hurt? Yeah.
Oh, I'm still hurt over that shot.
I'm aware.
I can't get over that.
I'm aware. You should be hurt about that minus 39 that you suffered last season. That should be your number one focus.
I'm just gonna let y'all know right now. The Rockets got something cooking up. I'm not an Astros fan by any stretch of the imagination, but I'm pretty sure this is how the Astros is feeling.
The Texans and the Rockets sacrificed their season so the Astros could win. You're not going to do two in the same year.
You didn't sacrifice nothing. It's a wave.
Two in the same
it's a wave going.
Sports sacrifice.
Astros got it. The Rockets about to get it next year. The Texans gonna get it because the Texans got all the pieces in place to make that run next year. Because what's the bet? What's the bet?
40 touchdowns.
40 touchdowns.
40 touchdowns.
Whoa. Make sure y'all say this clear so the listeners can hear this. You guys are betting the fact that Deshaun Watson in his second year is going to throw at least 40 touchdown passes, right?
40.
Just wanted to make sure that it was heard.
40 total touchdowns.
No. It was throwing 40
total, man.
It was total touchdowns.
No, it was 40 passing touchdowns.
Oh,
go back and
man.
you know what? If you think I'm lying, go back and check the GroupMe feed that we talked about it on because I put on specifically 40 plus passing TDs and y'all agreed to it. So thanks for the suckers bet.
Man, you know what,
Wilson?
I'll take it anyway.
Wait. What was your double or nothing, DeMarcus? What was your double or nothing?
He will have more total touchdowns than Aaron Rodgers next year.
Yes, I love it.
I'll take it because you know what? Deshaun Watson was on pace this year to throw 48 touchdowns, and I'm thinking he's going to come back better. He's going to come back popping. We about to get it. Let's go, Deshaun. Lead the boys.
I love the after the Texans, when they open in game, are the Texans going to be on pace to be 16-0?
Yes, let me tell you.
Yeah,
I mean, that's what the math says. I mean,
get on the wave. I'm telling you, that hurricane came. The hurricane came and washed a lot of the bullshit away. And you said, you know what? We bring you new life.
Wash it out between your ears with this wave nonsense that you coming with. Astros, great, well deserved. They built that.
Rockets are about to get it. The Rockets are about to get it.
A championship team. The Rockets have a good time. We'll see how it bears out. Hey, the only two things that they got to worry about is themselves and injuries.
If we get that first seed, they can avoid the Warriors and the Spurs.
Oh my God! You're speaking in impossibilities right there.
It's not impossible.
This is not. No, it's not impossible.
It's very possible.
This is the formula. If the Rockets can't
break it down to them.
So if the Rockets can continue to win, listen to this. Because guess what? When the Spurs were at their greatest, guess what? They only averaged about 28 to 32 minutes. The Rocket Stars are averaging about 28 to 32 minutes, and everybody was healthy.
You don't run the Spurs system, so that doesn't matter.
But that's fine. That's fine and dandy. But guess what? The thing about D'Antoni is the thing that I never realized, and that he said, quote unquote, give him a team that has good defensive players, and I can give you a great defense. The Rockets are now ranked number 2 in overall defense because you have 6.
Does that mean that you have great defensive players?
Yes, you have 6. You have Abadamute, you have Trevor Ariza, you have Chris Paul, you have PJ Tucker, you have Nene, you have Capella, who has.
These are all defensive stoppers?
Yes, these are. You know that
these are solid defensive players.
That's not what I just asked you. Don't try to spin it and give me the fake news with the solid defense. Are these defensive toppers?
No.
Is that what you're saying?
Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Trevor Ariza always ranks in the top 10 in steals. Abada Mute is known for shutting down the power.
Is steals an indication of defense or just playing passing lanes?
Like I just said, who cares? They still have a number 2.
But now it's who cares. Okay.
Hey, like I said, this may not be the old school rough and tough type of defense that was playing back in the day, but this is
it works for today's NBA.
Active hand, stealing the ball, pushing the tempo, what the Rockets are known to do. And I'm telling you right now, if the Rockets can go into the playoffs healthy and still limiting everybody to 28 to 32 minutes, I'm telling you, the Rockets have a chance to beat anybody on any.
All they gotta do is keep the first seed and stay away from.
I'm telling you, man.
That's it.
I have a feeling. This is the feeling, man. There is a feeling, and I'm telling you, I don't know what it is. Hey, man, it is what it is. I had this last feeling back in 2011 when the Mavs went on their run because guess what? They had the pieces in place, and I felt it. As Shantae, I kid you not. I think the Rockets have something that's it's gonna be something.
And that team did it without Caron Butler. And that was one of their
without Caron Butler, man. And they lost him in December.
Hey, there we go.
Hey, man, keep it rolling.
I will counter you with just this one little tidbit.
Can you not see the possibility?
Great what the Rockets are doing. It's great to see that they have this great future in front of them. I already told you that the Rockets are doing well. The only thing that would stop them is themselves and injuries. I just said that like 2 minutes ago while you were on your rant.
Yeah, let me finish my rant.
However, the point that you're missing is the fact that unlike your team, I see a team in the same state that just went 19-8 without their James Harden. And you don't know what they're going to look like when they get their James Harden. I didn't interrupt you. Don't interrupt me.
Yeah, you did. You said you interrupted in saying that.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You can go through and you can spout off all your defensive stats and this, that, and the other, and that's all great, and that's all well and good. My team doesn't have the best defensive player arguably in the league, and they're still a top 5 defensive team right now.
I agree.
They're the 3rd seed in the Western Conference right now. You guys have yet to play them or any of the majority of the top-ranked teams right now. So it's great to see what they're doing, but forgive me if I'm buying all into this masterful plan that you're talking about because I haven't seen them hit their hard stretch of their schedule yet.
That's cool.
Once I see them get tested, then we can go from there, which is one of the reasons why I don't talk about basketball early.
That's fine.
We haven't seen anybody play any hard matchups yet.
It's all good, and I'm feeling good right now. And you said all that to say.
You have no reason not to say.
Guess what? Because I'm gonna tell you right now. I want to see how the Spurs do integrating Kawhi Leonard back with LaMarcus Aldridge because the best thing for LaMarcus Aldridge was for Kawhi Leonard to be gone. But when Kawhi comes back, that was the problem last year. That was the problem before. I don't care.
Hey, DeMarcus.
Yes, sir.
Is Kawhi Leonard a ball hog?
No, he's not. But guess what? He will be getting the ball back, and I'm telling you, that's gonna mess that chemistry up.
Hey, DeMarcus,
what you got?
Who is the head coach of the San Antonio Spurs?
All right, did he make it work last year?
The great Greg Popovich, the greatest coach in the
NBA. If you want to throw up all these inconsistencies and stuff like that in there, how long does it usually take a new player to get accustomed to the Spurs offense? 2 years, right?
Roughly, yeah.
So this is year 3 for LaMarcus, right?
Yeah,
I still think Kawhi was the problem.
But that's a consistent thing that you've seen, right?
But when he came in his first year, he was good with the Spurs, and he just kind of fell off. Yes, he was. He was actually. I remember watching. Man, he put up some decent numbers. He wasn't bad.
Decent numbers and being good in the Spurs offense is two different things.
They was kind of forcing the volume, which was very un-Spurs like. And now you see he's got adjusted to that system, and that man's a monster.
He catches his stuff in the natural flow of things, a la Tim Duncan, and Kawhi ain't have no problem playing with Tim Duncan, so he's not gonna have no problem playing with LaMarcus.
If they put the combination of Manu, Rudy Gay, and Kawhi on the court at the same time, that's gonna be a fucking problem for somebody.
Kiss it goodbye.
That's gonna be a fucking problem.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. A lot of ifs, like you said, on both sides. So we're gonna be interested. See you Friday, pimping.
And the other part that I like about it, you guys can do whatever you want on Friday. That's game 1. The one thing that you need to understand is that we're an even better playoff matchup for you now than we were last year. And you got run off the court by 39.
Funny, he taking it serious. I'm just Joker.
I'm not taking anything serious. I'm just giving you facts.
See
You
you.
cheerleading your Rockets. I'm cheerleading my Spurs. Don't be mad because I can do it better
Put that
than you
music
can.
on. Put the music on, DeMarcus.
You want to crank it up?
And it's me and his feelings because he can't cheerlead better than I can. I'm sorry. That's why I never cheerlead my team. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to make you feel bad.
Oh no, you didn't make me feel bad. Continue what you were saying.
Because I guarantee you, your record would be 19-8 through your first 27 if you had no James Harden. So good luck with that.
Oh, that's so true. So true. So
That's
true.
100% fact.
That is a fact, and I would never deny that.
Who is the NFL MVP as of 12?
Yeah,
12
Roger
17?
Goodell.
Is it because of the contract?
He ain't suffering no injury.
Contract.
He ain't suffering no injury. He's still getting paid. I mean, hey,
And he got a team going to Vegas.
you know what I'm saying?
What else you want?
Yeah,
And he winning.
And we just opened up 3 new stadiums.
He
And
get free airfare. He get free health insurance for him and his family. He get to go to all the games and sit wherever he want.
he get the
How can
Pickens
you
game.
not-
Hey, did you see
No,
them
no, no, I
stadiums?
don't want to
at
go to that game. Flex that game, and I'm gonna fly out to
he needs to
to
flex
the Jets game. Yeah.
He needs to flex that
I'm surprised
Cowboys
I thought
game.
they would have did it by now, man.
Which
He needs to
Cowboys
flex
game?
that Cowboys
I
game.
think
The
that's
one on Sunday.
because that'll piss off Jerry Jones.
What time is it?
Boy.
It's at 7:30, but
It's the Sunday night game. Who they playing?
The
the
Raiders.
Oakland Raiders.
The Raiders.
Flex that bullshit.
Well, you got to respect the fact that on
Jerry
paper,
Jones,
when the season
man.
started, that was a good game.
But think about this now. The Pittsburgh Steelers and the Patriots fighting for that top spot.
Whoa. Set that up. The first
Where's the
place Pittsburgh Steelers.
Where's it at?
Where's it at?
Pittsburgh
At home.
Is it in
At
Pittsburgh?
home.
Is it in Pittsburgh?
Yes. What a good game that's gonna be.
I'd rather have that during the day at this time of the year anyway.
What?
Because they do. All right,
I'm
think
just
you said
saying.
because they do
Air
have.
conditioning-
They got those
air
Saturday
conditioning-
games. Those Saturday games too. Don't forget about that.
Yeah.
It's gonna be less volume on Sunday. So
Ooh.
this could be.
And I like the fact that it's kind of spaced out like that now.
I just don't want to see no Cowboys on no Sunday with no Raiders.
We ain't gotta watch. We can just cut it.
Now we say that the same way that folks said, and they said they didn't want to see like a Cleveland and Green Bay game or a Patriots and Miami game. I was talking down on that last night. Just because it may not be the matchup you think it's going to be, don't mean that it won't turn out to be a good football
Who
game.
said they didn't want to see a Cleveland and Green Bay game? That's the game that
It's
everybody should have been watching.
a ton of folks that didn't want to
But
see
they
it.
were idiots because that was the game that was being projected as the upset
But I
game.
mean, hell, like I said, myself, I had no desire to see New England and Miami last night, but it turned out to be a pretty good damn game.
Oh, yeah, that was a damn good game. But I was interested to see that game because, like you pointed out, Tom Brady struggles against Miami.
7-9 all time in South Beach now.
But yeah, what were we talking about? Oh, MVP Antonio Brown. If the Steelers beat the Patriots and the Patriots look as bad as they did on Monday, you have to put Antonio Brown at the top of the conversation because what he's doing right now is he's on pace for 2,000 and I think like 2,100 some yards or something like that. On top of that, he's also doing this on a franchise that everybody thinks is going to go to the Super Bowl, and that's usually what the MVP does. The MVP goes to the person that is the best person on the team that everybody thinks is going to the Super Bowl, and the Steelers are on the roll. So, man, you might as well give it to him. Wentz is hurt. Tom Brady struggling 3 games because he struggled.
You're missing somebody very important to this MVP.
Oh, who we gonna talk about? Case Keenum?
Nah, bro, we're talking about Russell Wilson.
Russell Wilson is out of conversation because he keeps losing. He's maybe putting up the numbers, but he doesn't have the record. He doesn't have the record.
He don't have the team either. He's carrying that team on his.
Fine. When's the last person that won MVP that had the type of record that he's probably gonna go in with? Probably 9. Maybe.
But that's the thing. Like this MVP is so wide open because Brady's still in the picture. I mean, a lot of people want to take him out because he's been staying up the last couple of weeks. But from a consistency standpoint, Russell Wilson has been the most consistent quarterback. And even though he had the bad interceptions, what he was able to do toward the end of that game to put his team in position to win on the road, bro, against
Russell Wilson just set an NFL record this season too because he has in the NFL history.
But Russell,
his name is elite. I'm not saying he's a front runner.
Russell doing exactly
he's a dark horse for sure, but it's not absurd to put him in the conversation.
He's doing exactly what he did. What was that last year?
I put him in over Case Keenum. That's just me personally.
He starts bad and then he gets hot. Russell Wilson does this every year. That's fine and then
he really didn't start that bad this year.
Okay, but you saying that is almost akin to somebody else saying that Antonio Brown does this every year.
But you know what? That is true, and I will give Russell Wilson this credit. He's overcome the most hurdles of anybody.
That's not the Legion of
That's in the MVP. Yeah, because they all hurt, and they may lose Bobby Wagner this weekend because he has concussion protocol.
He's in concussion protocol, ain't he?
Yeah. So it's just like he's done, and the offensive line shaky. I don't know where Jimmy Graham was. I guess he was visiting in New Orleans. I mean, Jesus, I don't know where he was.
Who the running back there, bro?
Mike Davis, and hey, Mike Davis looks damn good, but yeah.
Mike Davis. And everybody's looking good. Chris Carson was looking good. Ed Lacy was looking good. Thomas Ross looked good.
Yeah.
But
so you have a point.
Like I said, that's just I'd put him in over Keenum from a consistency standpoint because Sam Bradford looked like the MVP at one point. So that's just a real team. And we was on him, so we can't.
Yeah. You know he looked amazing for that one game, but Case Keenum still
no mention of Goff.
Todd Gurley. It's like Todd Gurley and Goff. Like
Todd Gurley's taking that. It's gonna be like the Dak and Elliott kind of
exactly
back and forth because Goff looks as good when Gurley looking good, but when Gurley doesn't do
Gurley, I think he leads the league in first down yardage. So
yeah, man, he's been holding it down.
When your quarterback comes in, second and 2, second and 3, like man, that's an easy day in the office. Easy day in the office. Throw it to Robert Woods, throw it to Cooper Kupp, throw it to Sammy Watkins, throw it to one of my tight ends. Goff got it made right now. Offensive mind, probably one of the greatest young coaches we ever seen in NFL history. But Russell Wilson, man, depleted team, not the same on defense, makeshift offensive line, who's who of running backs that nobody knows.
That almost sounds like you're talking about Matt Stafford.
Yeah, that's true.
Boy, you better go on with that, man.
Who's another dark horse? I mean, check the tape, check the stats. If they went out and make it to the playoffs, he'll be in consideration. Because his numbers are nothing to.
His numbers are great every year. Like he's a great.
But see, that's the thing. He suffers from the notoriety of the fact that everybody blows it off because it's the Lions. But going through everything that they went through, being in a position to actually still make the playoffs, it's almost the same case that you make for Russell Wilson.
Yeah, and
I'm just throwing it out there as far as dark horses. None of these guys are going to be seriously considered when it's all said and done. We know
they're always going to look at the record.
They're always going to look at the records, and they're going to look at the names associated with the records. That's it. And on a side note, as far as the Antonio Brown thing goes, the only reason why I really don't see that happening, if they didn't give it to Jerry Rice in '87, they'll never give it to a receiver.
Oh, you have a point. Oh, walk it to him wins, as Shannon want to call him. He probably end up going to get in it because that dude right there just. On sure what he did, man. I'm very impressed by him.
Oh yeah.
So if you're gonna give it to somebody, if Russell just I guess balls out for the rest of the year, then yeah, Russell deserves it. And yeah, for what he had to overcome,
if Russell makes the playoffs. If Russell don't make the playoffs, he will not win.
Yeah,
that's very important.
He won't get it.
Let's not get it twisted. Ain't nobody gonna get the MVP in the NFL if they don't make the playoffs. I don't give a damn who it is. I don't give a damn who it is. But honestly, I think it'll come down to familiar faces. And okay, since we're talking about it and stuff like that, what's to not say that Big Ben ain't in that conversation?
Big Ben, Big
yeah. I mean, that's the he's getting Antonio all his yards. I mean,
this is true. This is true.
They love crowning quarterbacks at MVP for wide receivers. I'm just saying.
The Jacksonville Jaguars single-handedly took him out the MVP race with that game.
Yeah,
even though he has bounced back, it's still.
I say now, you really think so?
He's still like
we gotta give the Blake Bortles. We gotta give the Blake Bortles
interceptions. Like Big Ben still has a lot of turnovers on his resume. As good as he's been playing the past couple weeks, he's been lights out. Don't get me wrong, but he hasn't been very consistent. He had at least a stretch about 3 games where it's like, bruh, maybe I need to go to Landry Jones. So,
and I feel that.
So from a consistency standpoint, I still rather have Le'Veon Bell. That guy's a monster.
He's all right. I'll take my guy over him.
Nah, don't y'all start the late.
It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting to see how it shake out.
Bro, I'm taking Kamara over Bell, and you're not gonna make me say otherwise.
Yeah.
In a fantasy draft?
Oh yeah. You know how I feel about.
I'll take David Johnson.
You know how I feel about Bell. Don't play with me. Don't play with me.
It's as good as Kamara's playing right now. It's very hard to say that he's not in the running to be a first overall pick in a fantasy draft. So I can't.
Oh,
even
it's gonna be
consider
some folks that's gonna it's gonna be some folks that's gonna jump sky high like Will Chamberlain and take him number 1 overall. I didn't say I'd take him number 1 overall. I'd take him ahead of Bell, but I wouldn't take him number 1 overall.
Well, Bill-
Yeah, I'll take a workhorse over a split backfield.
Yeah, until he is the unquestioned
Number
bell
one.
cow back in New Orleans, I would not take him number 1. He's excellent for what he does. He generates you full-time RB1 numbers, but I'm still not comfortable enough with that to take him number 1 overall. Not over somebody like a Bell per se. Let me stop the hatred and be serious in case anybody's taking me seriously like that. There's no way that I'm going to take a split time back over a full-time bell cow workhorse back at number 1. It's not going to happen.
Just throwing this out hypothetically, I know next season is so far away, but if Derrick Henry was given the backfield to himself, how high would you take Derrick Henry?
Not high because I don't know what's
Bottom of the first round.
You say bottom of the first round? I'm not going to take him until like third round. Just for
Would you take?
I don't know what's going on with Tennessee.
Take Derrick Henry or Jordan Howard?
Jordan Howard.
Derrick Henry.
If both given the touches,
I like Jordan Howard.
Derrick Henry.
Because Derrick Henry can catch, bro. He got those hands.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't.
No,
no, he doesn't.
He catches better than Howard.
He catches. He's a better receiver.
They both in the.
If Howard was a good receiver, you would have never heard of Tariq Cohen. Guaranteed.
That is true. But that's the thing about it is, I think that helps Jordan Howard.
Would you take?
It's one of those pick'ems. It's one of those coin flip
because if they get Derrick Henry, I'm telling you,
or Carlos Hyde.
I'm taking Carlos Hyde.
I'm taking Carlos Hyde because of Garoppolo. I'm taking Carlos Hyde.
Garoppolo in that offense, and they're still gonna have a losing record. They may grab another offensive weapon. That defense is looking good.
Carlos Hyde might get his Roger Craig on next year.
Derrick Henry has 50 less touches than Carlos Hyde, and he's only 100 yards behind him in the rushing category.
But that's cool and dandy. But look what Carlos Hyde. He has C.J. Beathard as a quarterback for pretty much the majority of the season, and he had a tough schedule. But the thing I say is this right here, and what is exactly what Marcus just said. San Francisco got Garoppolo, you got Goodwin. All you need is maybe another wide receiver. You don't really need too many pieces on defense. You just need everybody to come back healthy.
They got a decent offense set up.
Got a nice
Carlos Hyde can get his Garrison Hurst / Roger Craig on.
I don't know, man.
Under them circumstances.
If he stay healthy, I'd rather have my boy Henry.
And and the thing about that, Carlos Hyde has been pretty much. I've had him, so he pretty much been healthy this whole year.
I know Carlos
been consistent.
He's been doing
one of the most consistent backs this year.
Exactly.
He's trying to get that contract though.
I like it. I like both of them.
Yeah, they might fatten his pockets, and he might turn into Arian Foster on us and start running out of bounds all the time.
I like that.
Not the
Tennessee. I don't know what's going on over there. Until they fire the coach. I mean, they're dead in the water.
Until they get a quarterback, is that what you said?
Do you really trust Martin Mariota this week, though, man? Like, I think that's a huge.
No.
This dude gave me -8 points.
Marcus Mariota is dead to me, and I have to apologize to all of our viewers and all of our fans. That was the biggest miss by this guy on this podcast of all time.
Everything,
but no. I rode hard for him. I campaigned. I gave y'all all kinds of logical reasons and had my pom poms out. And Marcus just flat out turned his back on the 3 Marcuses, and I said, I will no longer call you Marcus.
But you know what? I listened to the podcast. I didn't endorse him for the simple fact is the question mark that I always had with Derrick Henry. Both of them got hurt, and I just want to see how they both was going to bounce back. And both of them did not bounce back fairly well. Honestly, if you look at how they've been playing over the whole season, and it's just the red flags that we had. If you look back, the red flags.
Yeah, like they all triggered. We had red
flags on Marco Murray burned me, bro. I put so much in him.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, my man, I don't even want to speak on this dude no more. Terrell Pryor, Jesus, man.
Who?
I'm so glad I was shaking jive that dude. Man, he could have derailed all my fantasy squads. I drafted him every league, and you know what? He burned me.
That was one of the biggest fantasy busts for everybody of this entire season because everybody
who you pissed off?
Everybody had high hopes for him.
You pissed off Michael Thomas by saying he ain't come through. He came through that monster game after that.
Bro,
Mike Thomas said he spoke too soon.
He came out with that monster game when I was on bye. I said I need that this week.
And it's still a possibility. Don't get me wrong.
And he's had a pretty down season, but he's still like 7 yards away from a grand, ain't he?
PPR,
PPR.
he's killing in PPR.
PPR, he's murdering, but I'm talking about just yardage wise. I was surprised that he's like 7 yards away from 1,000.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
he's like 900 something.
He's still getting crazy targets. I think he got like 80 catches. Like Michael Thomas.
Kamara going down was big.
Like it's sneaky. It's something that you didn't really notice. Like if you weren't paying attention to Michael Thomas, you wouldn't have known if somebody would have said he got 80 plus catches, 990 yards. You'd have been like, when?
See, people get, and you know what? That's the thing about it.
Michael Thomas doing that Andre Johnson shit.
I feel, but look, that's what I'm saying. I feel like people need to pay attention because that's all Drew Brees throws through. It's either Coleman or it's Michael Thomas. If it's not Michael Thomas, then Kamara. You know,
I don't even know why Fleener's running routes at this point. Like, bro, just block.
Yeah, like Kamara.
He's hurt. I think he's a
receiver at this point. Like,
I think he hurt.
Oh, Kobe Fleener? Oh, well, it don't even matter. They don't use his ass anyway. Shit, Drew Brees don't pass enough to use anymore.
They've been using Hill. I think Hill has been the feature now.
Josh Hill, no doubt.
Or Josh Hill, whatever his name is.
So, man, who are some starts that you guys like this week for fantasy playoffs?
Man, I'm going
just throw a couple out there.
I'm gonna throw one guy out there that I think is going to have a huge week this week, and that's going to be one Devontae Freeman. And the reason why I say Devontae Freeman is going to have a huge week because Tevin Coleman is in a concussion protocol. And the last time I checked, guess who they play? Guess who they play on Monday night? The people that suck on running on the rush defense, and that is one Buccaneers who are folding in for the rest of the season, and they're going to be out without Gerald McCoy. So there you go. Doug Martin should have you Devontae Freeman should get a good 100+ yards, maybe 3 touchdowns. I wouldn't be surprised.
No doubt.
Because the way Matt Ryan's playing, they're going to have to lean on the running game. And why not lean on a person who missed, 2 games from concussion and had a great game last week? So you might as well lean on him.
Very underrated good game last week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 90 yards and a touch? Yeah. Against that tough defense, too.
Yeah, he was running like he was trying to make sure everybody knew who the starter was on that team.
Yeah, it's and another person I'm pretty high on this week. It's a guy that I kind of been in communication with y'all about, and that's one good Marquise Goodwin. Since Garoppolo came in, he kind of just been balling. But Tennessee has been good against the wide receiver. But honestly, it's Goodwin and Buzz. It's Goodwin and Hyde. That's it. That's it. Or Taylor.
Oh yeah.
It's just one Taylor guy, but I don't know who that is. But.
Nah, he don't get as much targets as Goodwin.
He don't get as many times.
Goodwin gets targets, bro.
Because I want everybody, because if you look at what he did against the Texans, like, okay, yeah, he had a modest game.
I was there. He
had 14 targets. He had 14 targets.
He left 100 and a touchdown on the field. He left that on the field on top of what he already had. So he should have had damn near a 200-yard. He should have had Antonio Brown-like game if he got all his catches. That's all I'm saying about that.
I agree.
The guys that I'll be looking at, it's gonna be a snowy day in Buffalo. So those running backs, Drake and McCoy, fire them up. Ooh. That's gonna be a running game. That's gonna be a hell of a game.
Drake is gonna be killing. Drake is gonna kill. That dude look.
And honestly, I think this is gonna be the week of the running backs. There's a lot of running backs I like this week, especially Leonard Fournette. Like as good, as solid as the Texas run D has been.
Jacksonville struggle against Hyde.
And like I say, and the more you start to feed those running backs, the dirtier the game gets. And Leonard Fournette's that guy that gets stronger as the game goes, just like we seen last week with Seattle. When it came down to closing out the game, what Leonard Fournette do? Oh, I'm gonna get you 2 first downs, and they ain't gonna get the ball back. So I can see him going for about 150 and 2 touchdowns against Houston. Easy.
I agree. That limits Bortles.
Easy, man.
See, and that's the thing about that. If Fournette, if the Texans still had the good rush defense that I did not see be leaky on like 3 games in a row, then I would say that Blake Bortles would have the breakout game that everybody thinks is going to happen. But like you said, I think Fournette's going to have a lot of those.
Be serviceable.
He's going to be serviceable, but he's not going to give you the 250.
I see maybe 220, maybe 2 touchdowns. But it's hard for me to see 250 or 300 right now. But he should be serviceable. He's a safe pickup. I can say that much.
Yeah.
Who you got, Wilson?
2 guys that I'm looking at. I'm going to look at the quarterback spot. 2 guys that I look at to probably have some pretty strong games for me. Number 1 is going to be Cam Newton.
Yes,
not so much on the strength of his arm and passing per se, but he's going to make plays with his legs. He's going to take advantage of that 3-4 that the Packers like to run. It's kind of banged up on the D-line already. He's going to make some scrambles. I look for him to have anywhere between 65 and 80 yards scrambling. Might run a touchdown, and I can see him throwing 1 or 2 touchdowns as well. Another guy that I think that's going to have a big game, fantasy-wise and just a statement game-wise anyway, I look for Austin Westlake's own Nick Foles to have a big game.
Hold it down.
I think he's going to let folks know I am this team's Jeff Hostetler. We don't need Phil Simms right now. I can get us there.
And you know what's funny? I think it's crazy that a lot of people were doubting Nick Foles. I doubted Nick Foles because what I remember from Nick Foles is what I saw in Kansas City and what I saw in that last little stretch run with Chip Kelly. But the thing about it is, and I forgot to look back and notice, when Nick Foles had weapons and protection and all the right pieces in place that the Eagles have, he had 27-2 that year. So, and if people fail to remember, Nick Foles was not the starter when he got that 27-2. He was the backup to Mike Vick. So, hey, the pieces are in place, and you know what? They look a little bit better than they did back then because you have a more reliable defense, and then you also have your deep threat in Aguilar that could be Deshaun Jackson and your big body receiver in Macklin and in Jeffrey. So it's the pieces are there, but you got a 3-headed back and you don't have McCoy. So hey, you good to go in my opinion.
Oh yeah,
there you go. Is Devin Hester a Hall of Famer?
No, he's not.
Oh, don't you slander Devin?
No. I like Devin Hester, and he what? He has the most return touchdowns in history. He should go. Yeah, then he should be in there.
Like my man Wilson said, he should not go.
Brian Mitchell and Steve Tasker are not in the Hall of Fame, then neither should Devin Hester.
I don't know who those two people are, so
Brian Mitchell is the running back from the Eagles and Reds. Hester broke all of his records. First off,
DeMarcus, I became an Eagles fan in 05. Just let you know.
Steve Tasker was the primary special teams captain for those Buffalo Bills teams that went to 4 straight Super Bowls. And to compare resumes, Devin Hester has 14 career touchdowns. He's a 4-time Pro Bowler and a 3-time All-Pro. Steve Tasker has 9 touchdowns. He's a 7-time All-Pro and a 7-time Pro Bowler. So again, if Steve Tasker ain't good enough to go as a special teamer, neither is Devin Hester. I know he's got more multimedia coverage and flashier returns, but ask anybody that was old enough to watch them Buffalo Bill teams, and they will tell you, Steve Tasker, little bite-sized mini Smurf, frosted mini wheat dude,
tough as nails,
was out there killing it. He was like Vince Papale in that Wahlberg movie on steroids. Basically, he was a special teams gunner, and he used to lead the NFL in special team tackles like every year.
Can I say something right quick, y'all?
Yes, sir.
So people, I want the people to know this about myself. I'm a huge basketball fan. I'm a huge football fan now, but I didn't start watching football until I was 15 because my dad and my family really didn't watch football like that, so I didn't get into it. So I had to wait till I discovered, hanging out with my friends, like, oh man, this sport is off the chain. And 2005 was when I took off, and that's why Phillip Rivers, I ride and die with Phillip.
Bro, you all good. We can tell by the 2 teams that you picked that you ain't been watching football that long.
The most burned franchises. Almost there. I have the almost there franchise. I love the almost there. The almost there. The Rockets almost there. The Chargers almost there.
Hey man, again, it's all about, people love to try to bully folks and shame folks about their teams and stuff like that. You can't help who you love, man. If that's who you dug when you started watching in 05, then so be it. That's what it is. That's what it's all about, though. But you're a fan. It's not like 05 they was good, but 06 they was trash, so I'm going to switch over to this team. Okay, then that's a problem. But, I mean, you started in 05, you've been down since 05. It is what it is.
I ain't seen no struggle too much. The only struggle I have seen is, the inconsistency. But other than that, I enjoy the ride.
I was about to say, you ain't had no struggle, but you didn't have some heartbreak and a half.
Oh, man.
With them 2 teams, Chargers and Eagles since 05? Oh, my God.
Chargers been hurting my heart for a long time.
I'm surprised you're not an alcoholic.
I didn't see Vincent Jackson, who I thought was one of the greatest wide receivers, do absolutely nothing in his career. Just die here. Ugh.
Man, before we wrap things up, I want to do this the right way.
What happened?
I want my man Wilson to give people some words of wisdom on bullying. I want us to do it the right way. We
Oh
gonna
dang! Can I drop some TV knowledge?
no we
Do it.
yeah, we can all
Do
talk.
it.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Do
we
it.
we we gonna sit here and discuss what Keaton Jones want to do, but we gonna do it our way. So let the people know about bullying out there.
For me, as a young, introverted, nerdy kid that was always famous at his high school for being the dude that knew all the sports stats because he walked around with a book bag full of encyclopedias and wasn't always the most popular or the flashiest or the coolest or anything like that. I was fortunate enough to have a support system to where I had friends that thought enough of me to prevent me from potentially being bullied, even if I wasn't aware of it. Uh, as I grew older and started to work with children as a child care director for the YMCA, as a intake and correctional officer for Harris County Juvenile Probation, and kind of grew into myself more, people don't take the time to properly acknowledge or realize how detrimental and toxic it can be to somebody's character to be bullied. There's no point in it. There's no rhyme or reason for it. Most of the time, the people that do it are more insecure than the people that they're actually bullying. Uh, Things that's equal parts disturbing and sad, but think about it, it triggers something in me that's less than positive because my first inclination to a bully is to show them what it's like to properly bully somebody. And that's not the best course of action, but that's just the way that it makes me feel. One of the biggest crimes that I think that we commit in the world when it comes to young people and people in general is you should never try to take anybody's ability to dream away from them. Bullying takes away kids' ability to dream, to have self-esteem, to believe in
Safety.
themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Hugely detrimental, and it's not just from a physical standpoint, although in extreme cases it can lead to people losing their lives. There have been kids that have been documented that have been beaten to death by bullies, that have been beaten up. I know I've seen viral videos of an honor student in the Midwest that got beat up by his friends because he made the honor roll because they thought that wasn't cool. Things of that nature. You get people that get bullied enough. Most recently, porn actress August Ames got bullied and shamed on social media, I believe, because she didn't want to perform a particular type of scene and pushed it to the point where she hung herself. It's wrong. It's fundamentally, it's morally wrong. Sometimes we blur lines and stuff like that. You guys have seen us on this podcast sit and get on each other about our teams or talk noise about, you don't know what you talking about. This team ain't worth this, that. And in the wrong narrative, that is a form of bullying as well. Now, understood, we know each other well enough and know that we're just doing this and we're having fun with it. But there's people outside of this realm that don't. We all saw an article where somebody just got shot over a video game yesterday.
Bro,
we've had documented cases of people getting shot after football games or after one team wins and another team's fan gets mad and fights them and stuff like that. Bottom line, all jokes aside, complete seriousness, any and everybody that's within the realm and scope of this podcast and my voice, bullying is wrong. There is no point.
Can I ask you a question?
Ever.
And this kind of going the bullying thing. I don't want to be too long because I know we're about to wrap this up. I also believe bullying is wrong, but don't we also live in a time that we are too sensitive as human beings that we get so offended and bothered? And I fall for this too. I'm a victim myself. Getting bothered by somebody having an opinion that's different than yours. That's why you have this DC versus Marvel crap. Then you got this fanboy other crap. Then you got the sports analogy that you just talked about of sports fans going at and clapping at the people fighting over game systems. We are too sensitive. If you get your ass whooped, you just got your ass whooped. If
here's the thing about that.
Oh, well,
here's the thing about that, and I completely get what you're saying, but for me, that particular avenue, that particular set of problems, is for me twofold. One, I think that we exist in a day and age where there are far too many people that are more readily available to celebrate somebody's failure or shortcoming than they would applaud their successes.
That's true. Nick Cannon.
And secondly, I think that we are hell-bent on not listening for understanding, but listening to respond. And we deem ourselves worthy of telling somebody whether their opinion is right or wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And that's absurd. There's no such thing per se as a right or wrong opinion, because it's all relative to the person's perspective that's either saying it or hearing it. Now, if you're discussing a fact, I can tell you if you're right or if you're wrong, because either you know the fact or you don't. But just because of the fact that Griff thinks that the Eagles are the bee's knees and I think that the Packers are the greatest thing since sliced cheese, it doesn't mean that either one of us is wrong. It just means that we have different opinions.
No,
that
right,
has to be respected and acknowledged. And I feel you, but you know what I'm saying? It's that whole narrative, and people take that too far. They take that in the fact that, oh, because my opinion is different than yours, then I'm better than you, or you're wrong and I'm right. And that's where it kind of goes down that line to where it gets to be a verbal and then a physical and stuff like that.
And then it gets,
and that's where that sensitivity comes in. It's not necessarily sensitive because, oh, we take things too far. It's just that the direction of it causes that sensitivity, because people get inside their feelings, especially if you're doing it in the crowd. Now, we all know if we all hanging out and stuff like that and we chopping it up and I'm sitting around a whole bunch of friends and stuff and I'm just ripping Griff's opinion apart because I don't like what he's saying and this, that, and the other, but the crowd gets behind me instead of Griff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
all of a sudden, Griff gonna have a problem. And it don't matter if I'm right or not. It's just the fact that everybody else thought that I was right.
I'm about to shoot the club. I'm about to fuck
exactly.
I'm sorry.
And it's so funny, man. We laugh about it, but it's God's honest truth. And we've seen or heard about situations where it flows exactly like that. Some dude gets inside his feelings, or a girl gets inside their feelings because everybody heckling them because this other person is showing out and they might not even know what the fuck they talking about. But because of the fact that everybody else is co-signing, they feel some kind of way. Oh, I got to save my pride. I can't go out like that. You're not about to own me. And it goes down that bad road.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a point. Bullying is wrong, and don't get mad if you lose on 2K. Buzzer beater and punch a hole in the wall.
Mario Kart, whatever it was they were playing. Oh my God!
I'm talking about me. You know, in college, man, I lost. I lost a buzzer beater. And I punched the wall.
I didn't want to get into your criminal past, sir. I didn't know that you shot somebody.
I was out there, man. I was breaking those. I was knocking those down. Me and Pimp C was rolling. We was. Your couch and your nose.
You know what, man? Remember that stuff I said earlier about the Rockets, homie? Not so much. I mean, good luck to y'all on Friday.
Watch yourself, man. Watch yourself.
It's all good.
Hey, also, you got to catch out. You got to go watch Star Wars dropping this Friday. Vikings is the greatest show that probably nobody is watching. Man?
Don't even tell them no more. We're going to keep that a secret amongst us because we didn't tell them too many times.
So good. Empire, what you say, season winter finale, whatever it's called, dropping tomorrow.
Yeah, that and Star.
And Star, which has been very shaky this year, but Queen Latifah has been holding down as Carlotta. She's been holding that mama roll down. And also check out what is that? Bring It and the Rap Game on Friday. That's all I got. That's the only knowledge I got to drop.
That's what I'm talking about, man. You dropping that knowledge, man.
Yeah,
you trying to let these boys know.
They got Hustle and Flow on bounce right now, man. I'm laughing at this.
Whoop that trick. No, that's the wrong climate for that song.
No, man. No.
That song back. There's never the wrong climate.
You completely destroyed everything in this podcast with that one.
Let's edit that one out.
All right,
it's hard out here for a pimp. Insert that one in. There we go.
Oh my God. Well, that's an Oscar winner right there. So you got to put that in. That's an Oscar winner.
That's complete circle right there. I love it.
All right, man. All right, man.
This has been Fish and Grits, man. And y'all just been served.
Y'all enjoy it, man.
Peace, man.